just
Come
saying that
on, come on.
it's not me trying to attack it. It's me telling you what I hear. You even broke down crying
I mean,
because you were
Gil, we cried.
Wait a
We
minute.
we
Wait a
cried.
cried,
minute.
Gil.
Wait a goddamn minute. Because I did not agree or like just because I don't agree with what you say does not mean that I'm not fine mentally and emotionally stably to where I don't need anyone to gratify me in any capacity.
But
My
okay,
emotional out opening towards that young lady was something separate.
No, no, it's beyond that, Gil. They're saying that you were saying something about society. Like you were saying, well, I don't do this because
right.
society says, and society, and I'm like, well, that's showing that you care a lot about what society
See, and
thinks.
see how they see you. I'm saying that you have this wall up that I see. I could be completely wrong, which I probably am, but I see that you have this wall up completely where you are trying to shut yourself off so you won't get hurt, so you don't be
Mhm.
vulnerable to anyone on any level.
Yes.
That's what I see. So I
You're
could be wrong on that with that,
absolutely right.
but
I mean,
that's
or
why I
it may be something that you saw growing up. Maybe you
I,
never saw parents
you're
who had a successful
absolutely right.
relationship, or you had a strong mother who had that attitude that I don't need no nigga type of,
Well,
or I mean,
You're
it
Gil,
could just be. I
can
mean,
I
absolutely
because
ask?
I believe we all are a sum total of our experiences. So
Yes,
Well,
we are.
can I ask you, Gil? What did you feel when you and I cried earlier? What did you feel? What was it that we were crying about?
I feel like we connected emotionally. I felt
We
like
did.
you understood what I was saying, and I felt like you understood me emotionally. I felt like you got it.
It's
Um,
more of a family vibe.
right, but
yeah,
But
I
that,
felt
but
like
even
you
that's a
got it.
that's
need.
companionship.
That's a
exactly that's
need.
the feeling of connection. That's the
We're
Yes,
feeling
on
of
it. We're
connection.
all
I,
we're
I just think
we're all on
I
here
just
right
feel like
now.
he gonna meet somebody who gonna feel the same way like he does, that
and
I
then
don't need
forget.
nobody. He gonna be like, well, I don't need nobody either. And then the motherfuckers just gonna fall in
Well,
love.
let's fall
They
in
gonna
love.
And they,
so
and
damn
then
body
and they
part
both gonna
one and
have
one
and they both
two.
gonna
Yes,
have independent ass relationships with each other.
Yes, very, very.
we're all on here right now on this live because we need each other
Yep. Right.
in some way. In some way,
But
we need each other, and it's
It's
not
all
being
right,
needy.
Will.
It's not being that doesn't mean we're needy. It's just a human thing. That's what we were born to. That even
Mm.
the Bible says that's. I mean, the first man who was created. The reason Eve was created because the
There
Bible
was a
said it was
need.
not good for man to be
Exactly.
alone. The Bible says that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is true. And also too, they have relationships. As the lady from Golden Girls who played Sophia, while she was in California, her husband was all the way in some country ass town that they came from, and they didn't
Sicily.
live. Yeah, they didn't live together for years while she was filming Golden Girls. So it can happen. You feel me? They met when they needed to meet, and when it was time for her to work, he was like, "I ain't about that Hollywood shit," and he stayed where he was, and she was in California. So it's not like it's impossible. You just have to just find a guy that I do believe is out there, or a girl, I don't
oh
know,
girl,
who's out there for you, that can cater to that need, or lack thereof. So I mean, there's somebody for everybody.
Right. I didn't know. That's like me. I didn't know what I needed until I got it. And I was a lot like Gil, around his age. As a matter of fact, I was married 3 times and had never been in love.
Oh
I
wow.
never married for love. I actively ran from love, and it came from family hurt. Watching the women in my life, I had
Mm,
one aunt who literally died from a broken heart, and that was
wow.
never going to happen to me. So I ran from it. Meanwhile, my best friend, through all of these marriages, we nursed each other through divorces and breakups and all types of things. And come to find out, he was the one. And
Well,
now, it has.
I have a similar situation, but in reverse. I've seen dysfunction all my life, so I would made it a point to where I would be the heartbreaker instead of the one that got my heart broken. So I would
Mm,
go out and get in relationships, and when I start to
Mm,
see shit go sour, I would make it to a point to where I'm calling it quits first. You feel
Or
me? So
sometimes people, when they see it go so good, they break up because they don't want to be hurt by
right,
it going south.
right. So it's
I
still that
strategically
I feel like
chose
it's still that level of
expendable men,
right,
men
Right.
that I felt were expendable. Like I like you, but I can live without you,
right.
type
Right.
of thing.
Exactly.
Right.
And then when things got thick with the man that I'm with now, I railed against it. And even to this day, sometimes I have to catch myself. I kind of resent him because I love him, if that makes sense. Because anybody else I could walk away from. That one ain't going nowhere. It's going to be a whole kerfuffle. He try to leave out of here. So
I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Ah,
And it's funny the things that you miss about dating, because again, people mostly ask me, don't you miss having sex? And I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. I really don't.
James, I mean James, you don't be feeling like you need that back broken just like one good time. Like just one good time.
We ain't gonna tell nobody. We won't
The
tell nobody.
thing that I miss, like I'll miss like going to the movies.
I do too. I'm a
That's
movie buff.
that
I love
it's
that.
stupid stuff like that. Going
Yeah.
to the movies. And child, and guess what, Gil?
Yeah.
When I find the person that's gonna take me to the movies,
I think your ass needs to just
I
get
don't
out of
want to take
Pittsburgh. Cause
nobody else to the movies.
they ain't got enough black people in Pittsburgh. For me, you gotta come down south. It'll change your mind real quick.
Yeah, it's small stuff like that that I run into. The sex thing don't be that real big of a deal. Sex always brings confusion.
You
It
think
It
really
so?
does.
Or
It does. It
or
does.
that's so
I
clear.
try, and I'm telling you, when I was in my 20s, I tried that little thing like Gil. Okay, child, just deal with you. You normal. You know, I'm used to you. So, okay, we'll do it. It never worked. It never worked because for whatever reason, we start off with that shit lasts 2 days. On that third day, that nigga talking about where you gonna be, what time you gonna be. You'd be like, how do we get to that? I thought we agreed we wasn't doing that.
Could it be something wrong with you and what you're putting
No,
out?
it don't be me.
No, it's not that.
So it's not
It's
you.
not that.
Sure,
When you're, it goes back again
It
to
wasn't me. It
sex.
was always
Is
when I
not.
said I'm gonna be clingy. It wasn't me. It would be
Sex is not just
I would be
physical.
fucked
everybody
inside.
says in sex is never them. Everybody says that shit.
No, it wasn't me. And it wasn't about the sex. The sex was fine.
No, I
It
don't
was
mean
after
I
that.
don't
It
mean
was
sex like I don't mean sex like sex. I mean like sex as far as like clarity and conversation and
right. It wasn't me. I
vulnerability
was trying to
and
stick to what it was I
to
agreed
each
upon.
other.
No,
It
I
was
agreed
you.
upon
You have
that.
that
But no,
fire.
I understand where James is coming from
Yeah,
because
and
I
it was
don't like that
no
type of
in the
shit
first
either.
two,
I don't
two
like that. Like when we
periods of
have
being
an
with each other
understanding,
is you start clocking me and trying to
right?
figure out where I'm gonna be and who's at
Mm-mm,
your house and
mm-mm,
I promise you I wouldn't lie to you. You know I
right.
don't do fear and lie. I ain't got
Mm,
nothing to say about lying. I've been here too damn long. I,
mm-mm. That sounds
literally,
horrible. That sounds horrible.
it would be who's at your it was that one that who was at your house that used to wear me out because remember I used to be a house mother. So I would have, I got house sons, and you hear these male voices, and it's like, who is that? Who
I feel
it
like
was
that's a form of insecurity
well,
What's the form of insecurity?
for as
that
one that
trying to figure out
to
who's
try to
around me and where I'm gonna be and what time
yeah.
I'm gonna be here.
See, now I may say, hey,
Why is
babe,
the question is
I may say, hey,
why
where you
is it a form
going,
of
love?
insecurity?
Listen, James, have you ever considered relocating out of Pittsburgh? I'm gonna answer that. I did, and before Corona, I was actually, like in the last few years, I was kind of like doing some little traveling around, and that's why y'all was seeing me. And I was doing little road trips and doing meet and greets. I was looking around to see where I wanted to end up at, and then I made a decision. I'm 49 years old, and I just was like, you know what, this is dumb. Why my mama's here, my little brother's here. Why am I trying to find somewhere else, a whole different city? I'm 49. My kids don't live in the house anymore, so I'm just rolling. So I bought a house in Pittsburgh, and I can go wherever the hell I want to go,
right.
and I can stay for an extended period of
Right,
time.
you can have a summer house.
It just seemed more. It just seemed like a more smart thing to do. My family members that are close are here. My brother and my mother are here in Pittsburgh. So if I
I mean,
move,
Atlanta would love you, James.
I'm sure they would, but I don't got nobody in Atlanta. I ain't got nobody in Atlanta. Food junkie. I
I'm
come
in
down there
I'm
for
in
all the
Atlanta.
food junkie and his husband. They'll be like, if you don't get the fuck on out here, bitch. But here, I can literally, you ain't got to worry about locking my house down or nothing. I tell my brother, boom, I'm getting ready to go wherever, and don't come back. Because, I'll go visit Chet for 10 days at a time.
Chet Hanks?
Huh?
Chet Hanks?
That's my brother. That's my best friend.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's my best friend. I actually refer to him as my brother. That's the other brother. That's the one that y'all see on the channel sometime, is the brother. But I'll go visit him sometime for 10 days. And all I do is mock this up. So it just made more sense to go on to buy a house and stay here. I ain't got to relearn nothing. I'm here.
Hey James, when you gonna start doing your little lip sync competitions again?
Well, stuff is starting to lift, and some of our stuff is starting to open back up. So
All right.
yeah.
Question for you.
No, I'm not coming down to Atlanta.
Yes, you are, but not right now.
What's up?
Did you just reveal you just bought a house?
Yeah, child, I bought a house, child. Child, they've been telling me
for a while. I knew for a while.
Yeah, you did good. You held that secret a long time. You did good.
Did you just reveal it just now? Did you just reveal it just now?
I think I said something about it once before.
No, you said something, but you never said I bought a house before.
Well, I bought a house. Now you
just revealed it.
And look at Natalia. No, girl, he gonna be here. Here in New York.
We'll fight over him.
But yeah, I mean, as soon as they lift all the bans and I can go fly and leave, I'm ready to go. Child, I didn't do what I need to do.
You could do that now.
Yeah. Well, child, I'm scared of Rona. I'm scared of her.
I just went to Vegas not too long ago.
I saw you, but I always looking over your shoulder. I'd be looking over you and the husband's shoulder, and I'd be looking right at you.
I appreciate that. I feel like my little guardian angel.
Absolutely.
I was Vegas.
Absolutely. I got my good goddamn eye on you all.
But yeah, Vegas was actually really good. I
love Vegas. I love Vegas. That's my favorite hangout. I can't wait to get
the same.
Huh?
Was it the same as it used to be?
Everything is open in Vegas. There's nothing closed. I stayed at the Excalibur Hotel, and I thought that was just the only one. But when I got there, everything was booked up. I know next time I go, I want to stay at the Flamingo. They be having shows every night.
Okay.
And the Flamingo kind of gears towards the gay community, to where RuPaul had his residency there.
Right.
And and they be having all kind of drag shows, all kind of different type of shows at the Flamingo. Now it's not really a for me, if anybody that matters, it's not really a gay city. It's not really geared for the gays at all. It's everything is all inclusive.
Logan, it was gay as hell when I got there.
I don't know what changed, but it's not. That's only one gay bar.
I left and went back to Pittsburgh. That's what changed.
Right. That's what it is. Now, see,
I got on the plane and was running through the airport with pink chiffon. No,
right. But there's like one gay bar, and it's not really that interesting. It's like it's more Latin than anything.
We're talking about Vegas?
Wait a minute, Vegas. There was, when we went, there was a section we went to. I got to ask Alex. I'll ask Alex and get the information. But when we went, there were 3 gay bars, or was it 2?
Well, there was 3, but 2 of them closed down.
Like literally, you walk to the other one.
Yeah, I know what the ones you're talking about, but 2 of them had closed. 2 of them closed. It's only one, and it's really one. It's like a normal size. It's not really that big. It's one. It got 2 floors. But other than that, it's more Latin than anything. That's that's more Spanish people.
Very Latin, child. I was in there feeling my I
got a headache. I left after 30 minutes.
I had me a good old time, honey.
Before it's like the shows and all that good stuff is nice. The attractions there are really nice. The food is. I mean, I ate at Hell's Kitchen and all different kind of famous restaurants that's out there. It's a nice place, but you're gonna spend a lot of money. I'll tell you that. Cause they keep you liquored up, and when I'm drinking, I tend to spend more money. So but it was a nice vacation.
That's a lost skill. You know where I spent more money in New Orleans than I did in Vegas.
Okay, yeah, that's my hometown.
I know it is, honey. Your house, you're down to your house, honey. It's expensive.
Oh yeah, it can be
And then I
cost.
couldn't find nothing to eat.
Oh shit, I'm surprised. See, what I
I
tell
can't eat
people,
fish. I can't eat fish. I'm allergic to all fish, and everything was looking so good.
nah, I'm saying you could get other stuff besides fish. See, James, next time you go, just let me know, because that's the New Orleans that's the New Orleans.
I didn't know what about her.
When I tell people that go to New Orleans, that's the New Orleans that the tourists want you, that the tourist knows, and then there's the New Orleans that the locals knows.
Okay.
And the locals have more fun.
And that's the truth, because you know what? When I first got there, because remember I didn't get there when everybody else got there. When I first got there was a girl who went down with us who was from New Orleans originally. So we went to her family's house the first night that I was there. And her auntie had actually she's like, "You the one that can't eat fish, right?" I was like, "No, I can't." She made turkey necks.
Right.
With rice, and then everybody else had seafood stuff. Baby. And then
you could have got you a little hot sausage po' boy,
baby.
Turkey necks in that bowl.
She had an uncle that owned one of those shops that actually is the slushes.
Oh yeah.
So he kept coming through with like
jugs of daiquiris.
Jugs of the The best time I had the whole time I was there was over at her auntie's house in the backyard.
Because New Orleans people are so friendly.
Yes, they are.
I was always raised, when you make eye contact, you speak. So New Orleans is a very friendly place. You're going to see all kind of card games on people's porches. You're going to see dominoes played in the middle of the street. You're going to see kids with crushed cans on the tip of their shoes, tap dancing, and all kind of you're going to hear music all throughout the streets, the local as well as downtown. It's everybody. You have a lot of famous musicians, a lot of local musicians just go there just to play. So New Orleans is a wonderful place to go.
Tell the truth. I had more fun with the local.
I just hate the stereotype when it comes to my city. I really hate the stereotype that we're a bunch of hoodlums and we're a bunch of
I was looking for those.
I don't like that.
I didn't see them. I'm telling you the truth. Let me tell you the truth.
Yeah, but I've been there all my life.
I actually agreed to go down there because I was really looking for Odell.
Oh, you was? I can tell you what his little name was.
If I don't find Odell, I know he got some cousins or something. I ain't seen none of that.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, look, my people is in the mix with the Saints players. So anytime you want to go see where they are, just let me know. You gotta go on St. Charles Street.
He just did. There's something about some New Orleans boys. They just beautiful. I was like, child, okay. I'm looking and looking and looking from the time I got off the plane. I figured what had happened is I stayed on the plane too long and everybody done went on vacation. I flew all over.
Ain't no place like it, baby.
I did. I flew all over the continental United States trying to get to New Orleans.
And then they got all kind of attractions as far as like the my favorite show is like American Horror Stories. How Coven was shot there.
I did take a picture outside of Marie Laveau's out of her salon. It's her salon that's on
St. Anne and Bourbon, the Gaylord Strip.
Yeah, I got a picture. I ain't go with that. I didn't go with that.
Well, that was her. That was her home at one point in time.
Okay,
that was
I got a picture. I got it right on my phone.
And also too, Madame Marie Laveau, her house is like a few blocks away. The cemetery where all the folklore and all kind of stuff that's there. It's a lot. And I had that type of shit in my family, but I don't believe in none of that type of shit. So I stay my ass away from it.
You know what? I have I'll say that I have a respect for it.
Yeah, I do. Well, yeah, let me say that because I'm not gonna say I don't believe in it because I have.
Yeah, I don't have a fear
Right.
of it, like black
Right.
magic, white magic, any of it. I
Mhm.
believe in all of it. I believe in all those forces and all that.
Right.
I have a respect for it, but I don't fear it.
Right. Because how my grandmother explains it, because as a growing up, my grandmother used to do certain shit that I never understood why. Like for as every night she would light a white candle and do like a glass of water, and she would put it in front of it and she would pray, and she would leave that there and she would tell us, "Now don't go bothering that." Or she would leave um like little salt, like she was sprinkle salt by the doors and by the window sills, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And she was like, mind your business.
Yeah, right.
She never really explained that type of stuff until I got a lot older.
I was
For
going
us
to
with
say
the
she
with the
probably
glass
told
of
her
water,
mom.
it's an offering. She used a glass of water as an offering to the Holy Spirit. And just
Hmm.
just all kind of stuff that she got, because my great grandmother, her mother was a practitioner,
Okay.
so she got a lot of those customs from them. And like, I have a lot of aunts that do all that crazy shit. So but yeah, I don't fuck with it. I stay away. When she say they're going into that back room, I leave.
Right.
I was gonna ask the people on the panel. Anybody can answer this. If you feel comfortable talking about it while we're talking about this, I was gonna ask, what are your spiritual practices if you have any? Like, how do you connect with God, higher power, the divine? How do you connect?
Meditation, meditation, shrooms, meditation and shrooms. Uh, just just
Prayer.
being kind to other humans is not that difficult to be connected. Just being kind to other humans is a way to be connected. It's not a big ritual to do. Just be nice. That's it.
I pray harder when I'm cussing a motherfucker out.
Right.
Um, but yeah, but I find my spirituality through food, like community, like family gatherings. When my grams will always say that regardless of if she's here or not, you're gonna feel her presence, and it's gonna be in the kitchen, because that's where she showed the most love. She wasn't the most affectionate woman. She wasn't the most. She didn't like giving hugs or like that. But the way she showed love is through her food. She fed everybody and anybody, and that's how she showed love. So when I saw that growing up, so when I cook, or when we having family gatherings, and you just feel that energy that's in the room, I feel like that's God in that moment. Like that's when I feel like I feel his presence in that moment. It's when you have like-minded people that mean you no harm, that you can laugh, you can talk your shit, you can play your spades game and it be intense, and but you know that the love is still there. But I find God through a bowl of gumbo.
LB. She was so quiet. Nubiology.
I am a theologian who is a spiritual being. I do consider myself a believer, but not in the traditional sense.
Right.
So yeah, I do pray and I do study the word, but not in the traditional sense. So I guess I
Yeah, me too. I got burnt out of that stuff a long time ago.
Tell us,
yeah,
sister, please. Tell us.
not religious at all. Not religious at all. Spiritual though, yes.
I think man gave religion a horrible name. They went through there and fucked it all up, because
Mhm.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
I come from, my parents were ministers, so I come from that all my life. And so one of the things that was in our door that we, before you walk in, everybody read it, was study to show thyself approved. So I been with that all my life. For it's been raised in the church, um, singing, me and my brother singing in the church and all that kind of good stuff. So I've been that all my life. So you become conditioned to think a certain kind of way. It wasn't until I got on my own out of college when I started seeing other type of religions. It was my sophomore year in college when I met my first Jew, or I met my first Muslim, and I met my first a static, or or even a non-believer, my first atheist. So it just opened my eyes up to believe that God is in everything, and how you connect to God is your personal preference and your personal business. um I just think it's inner peace that you find when you have your own way of communicating with him, and I don't think it's wrong.
Hmm. Something I've noticed, and even more now since I started really delving into spirituality over the past several years or so. I've come to learn more about not only myself, but uh, gay people in general, in particularly gay men. Um, there's even like ancient texts they mention two spirited beings, and it's basically people who are uh, male. They're male and have like a female. They have more of a female spirit, or female have more of a male spirit, but they call two spirited beings. Even like transgenders, like transsexuals, homosexuals, bisexuals. We tend to be, at least in my experience, but I'm just meeting a lot of different people. More like more spiritual. Like we're more spiritually oriented. Gay people are, and I think also that adds to why a lot of us are often misunderstood or feel misunderstood growing up. Even as children. I know it was for me, and like I don't know how familiar y'all are with empaths, but I realized I was an empath. I didn't always know that. I only found that out like probably the last couple of years. And empaths, if you know anything about them, very sensitive, very sensitive. And I was always like that growing up. I was a sensitive child, and growing up in a black family in a black community, there's a shame that can come from that, like being a sensitive boy, and you feel like you
Yeah.
don't fit in. You can't even relate to other boys. That used to frustrate me to no end. Like I can't relate to them. I can't understand like other boys, they're going around chasing girls and talking about this and that. And it caused me personally to isolate myself, you know, because I felt like nobody understands me, and unfortunately and sadly, that did a lot of psychological damage to me, and things I'm still working out. And like I'm in therapy now, and but I can see how a lot of like when I look at the LGBT community, I can see why a lot of us are effed up, pretty much. As and people like on the out, like regular, like I guess I don't want to say normal, but what regular mainstream, heterosexual society, they look at us and say, the weird people, the weird. There goes the alphabet people, the weirdos of society, and the deviants of society. And but what it is, I think we have just taken like we suck dysfunction up like sponges. Uh, we sucked up all the stuff around us, and we didn't even realize it that that's what we were doing.
But
And we
can I
took.
add to that though?
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to add my point of view because James and I have actually was going to talk about this a long time ago. So my experience in me being gay, I get more backlash. I get more hatred coming from my own community than I
I
do the
agree.
heterosexual community.
I agree.
And I get more disdain from the feminine, or the more feminine gay men than I do
Yes,
masculine gay men
sir.
for who I am.
Yep.
I've been told that that I'm hyper masculine. I try to be hyper masculine or toxic they try to throw around toxic masculinity when they refer to me because a lot of things that I'm interested in or that I participate in, a lot of my feminine counterparts don't really like. Like I love sports. I always grew up loving sports.
Do you think it's
You know,
jealousy?
I don't think it's jealousy. I think it's a form of
Straight
hurt
passing?
because yes, I've been told that that's what I am. For instance, I have an instance where, especially dealing with the barbershop, right? My partner is more feminine. He's more on the feminine side. He's
Mm-hmm.
gay when you see him, or when you see him walk, or when you see him talk. There's no denying who he is. So, for instance, I'll go into a barbershop, and my partner comes behind me. Most of the barbers, they'll feel more comfortable talking to me, talking about, oh man, you see that fucking fag, or you see that, why them sissies gotta come up in here, type of shit. And then I take my privilege, because I do consider it a privilege.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes.
I take my privilege and I check them. I say, you're not about to talk about him like that. He's with me. And if you have a problem with him, you got a problem with me. And then that's when they kind of like, nah, we good kind of thing. But but my feminine counterparts don't see that. They don't see me as an ally. They see me as somebody who just wants to, that I can live in this world and be a part of both communities. I
Yeah.
can go to the sports bar and nobody knows that I'm gay, unless I tell them. Or so I get a lot of tension when it comes to feminine counterparts, especially dealing with topics, for as oh, you don't know what it's like to be gay because you ain't never been called a fag walking down the street, or you ain't never had no brick thrown at you, or whatever the case may be. But they don't understand my end of that struggle. For as now, I had at one point in time where I had to feel like I had to be overly gay for you to feel like I'm a part of the community. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
once I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm just gonna be me. Like, don't talk to me about fashion queens and all. I don't know anything about that. That's not my swag. You feel me? I don't know anything about that. If you want to talk to me about sports, you want to talk to me about construction, you want to talk to me about all these different type of topics, I can be a part of that. But if you want to talk about some messy shit or some gossipy shit, I'm not that. I don't. My energy is not geared towards that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
And
I
that's what I
get,
was saying earlier. That's what I was saying earlier was not every gay person experiences the same thing. So all the heartbreak and heartache that was experienced by some, everyone doesn't know that lifestyle or that experience. So we have to be open with each other, was not to be able to have a conversation to find out where everyone is, so we can have
It's
empathy
true.
for everyone. Yeah, my
yeah,
heart
and
True.
goes out.
I definitely agree, because I
My
felt,
heart goes out
I
to
grew up feeling
yeah,
dismissed when I would go to rallies, or if I attend when there was a trans woman that got killed in Atlanta, and I mean in New Orleans. I went to that rally, and then when see me, they would dismiss, like they would dismiss my voice, because they say, well, how would you understand? You don't know nothing about being gay. Like, I'm a gay man.
Yeah,
exactly.
but then
That's not something I chose. It's not something that I could walk
Yeah.
away from. It's not something that I have to dress up. And I'm not going to be more feminine to make you comfortable.
Yeah.
if you
I'm
don't,
not going to do
I think
that.
I think a
if you
lot
weren't speaking,
of oh go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, if you wouldn't have been out there standing speaking up, then they would have said you're not, you know,
I'm not a part of it.
you're not doing
It's like a
anything.
double-edged sword. It's like I'm
Yeah.
damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I don't speak up, then it's like, oh, you straight passing, or you gearing towards, and then they try to use me as like, oh, you one of the as gays as mutants, and you one of the mutants that can pass. Your skin not green, your skin not orange, so you can be able to pass. Nobody knows what you are until you tell them. I was like, well, how is that my fault?
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that
It's the
my
hurt
fault?
that you get the luxury of being treated like the collective while they're outsiders, because most gay people have an aura around them. They can't hide what they are, and they want to. It plays into the biphobia of being able to be accepted. Like a lot of gay people, worst fear is to walk into a barbershop. That's
It
like,
absolutely is.
And I see it. I see the difference when I walk into a barbershop and speaks to a
you
barber
get
and
jacked
versus
up,
my partner walks into a barbershop and speaks to someone. So and sometimes he'll feel more comfortable for just to let me speak to him about his haircut. So
it's a
you know,
fear.
I do get that, and the thing is I empathize with that. And I sympathize with that. But the thing I wanted to get across is that I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm a part of the same community as you. So don't treat me like just because I like to wrestle or I like watching boxing, you know, or those type of things. Don't say that, oh, I'm trying to be something that I'm not, because it's not for you. It's not something that you participate in. You know,
Or
I
understand.
grew. I grew up where people, grew in schools where I had to hide who I was, and because I see how straight people talk about gay people, so that didn't make me want to just say, "Hey, I'm gay." I had a
Right.
fear. I had a sense of
Yeah.
security knowing that nobody knew. Speaking for
Yeah.
for a once
Yeah.
DL man. So I had a security in knowing that people didn't see me the same as they saw someone else. But I wasn't stupid. I knew who I was. I knew what I liked. But as far as that security, that it's a lot to give up that. So when I became an adult and I said, no, I'm not going to hide behind it anymore, that I didn't have to do that. So I don't know. So I get the issue when it becomes to feminine gay men and what they go through, and I empathize with that, and I'm here for them. I'm here for the other side of my community. Like I
It's
love James like a fat person
understanding.
love cake. I wish a motherfucker would play with James.
Yeah,
But
but
see,
So
that's not out of hate. That's out of hurt.
yeah,
So
Yeah, it's
some of that
triggering. I
stuff
think
they
it's
got to deal
triggering.
with in themselves. That's something they got to deal with in themselves.
right.
there's
And I
definitely
think it's
a degree of
it's
privilege.
like the light
Hearing the
skin. I feel like it's
undertone.
like the light skin, dark skin thing.
Yeah,
It's
I,
not
I,
it's
I was
not a
just going to
person's
say, I
fault that
keep
they light
hearing this
skin.
undertone in every sector of uppity house niggas versus self-righteous field niggas.
Right.
When we all should be focusing on being one. I'm so freaking sick of that. Okay,
Me
I'm shut
too.
up.
Me too, because
yeah, it's aggravating.
it keeps us from it keeps us from being unified and fighting the real enemy.
Exactly.
It keeps us at each other's throat, and when we take a step back and you forget why the fuck we even fighting. It's like, yeah, it keeps us divided so we can keep the attention off of them.
Right. The real enemy is distraction. Because if
Right.
Right.
we not fighting on the sidelines, we're not out there playing the real game.
It's always a division. Light skin versus dark skin, masculine gays versus femme gays, or biological women versus trans women. It's always something.
Always some bullshit.
It's always something.
That's
But
it.
with
That's
all
what it
those,
is. It's always some bullshit.
but with all
Yeah.
those different sides of the same coin, it's important that each individual, depending on what side you land on, understand the privilege that you have on that side. Because feminine guys have privilege as well that they just haven't tapped into yet.
They do.
But
They do.
Right.
like I
Yeah.
I
said,
I
think
get.
I
I
think
see people
feminine
with
men
different
are the
privilege.
most creative, the most innovative.
That's what I was saying,
This
Bruce.
world would not be this world would not be the same if it wasn't for feminine gays. If you want me to do your makeup, you're gonna look like Hobo the Clown.
You heard
If
me,
you want
Jay?
me, if you
I'll
want
say
me to
all that.
dress you, you're gonna have on jeans and a t-shirt and a pair of Timbs.
No.
You feel me?
God
So
really
But
like,
see,
did leave
that's
his
your
mom when it came
masculinity.
to
But
facts.
that's what I mean. My masculinity, I can pick out patterns and
Yeah.
fabric and
That
design
one
and
do
things.
the same thing. This one do the same stuff I do. Now he can't put no makeup on him now.
No, that I can't do. But I can
But
tell
he
you how I
still
want it to
takes
look though.
clothes and he paints and he do the same stuff that I do, but he run around in the street looking like you with the boots and the tennis shoes.
right.
But y'all know y'all are like, ain't many of them, child.
So I can say from my own experience. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
So, I'm sorry. That's why I can say. That's why when I speak with her, I speak on my own experience with it, because I know
Yeah.
that I do everything that James does besides the makeup was not. But I can tell you how to put it on, what I want it to look like, because I'm
Yeah.
also an artist. So I
Me too.
understand the beauty of a woman. I understand how to make anyone look their best. So tell me the dress you was not, you're gonna look shit. You're gonna be one of the best people up in the room.
He
Well,
was
full junkie,
terrible
I'm
at my
gonna
birthday
have to come
party.
solicit your talents. I'm gonna have to put together a YouTube a video of you trying to style me outside my
Oh, you'll
comfort
have a
zone.
ball over there.
And you gonna be like, damn, I never knew I looked this good.
Yeah,
I'll
you'll have a
start
ball over there with him and his
doing.
foolishness.
So I can,
He carried on so terrible, Logan, at my birthday party, my virtual birthday party. Terrible.
What?
Terrible.
What I do?
Okay.
What I do?
I was just sitting there getting drunk. Okay. Minding my
What did
business.
I do though? I do nothing.
Blanco, what's up, baby? He was over there, and there was a certain somebody at the party who was bragging on their outfit. So do you remember this nubiology? And so the two of them got to going back and forth, changing clothes. It was a whole fashion show down there. No drag queens involved.
Oh, really?
They kept coming back on camera with different outfits. So it was terrible. Terrible.
Oh, wow. Y'all don't want to see my ass up in no fucking drag. I promise you that.
I can say I want to go back to what was just said a minute ago about the feminine men. Oh, my bad. Somebody. My bad. I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
Oh my God.
No, I was just saying. I was just going back to what somebody just said about the feminine privilege. They have privilege as well, and I can definitely attest to that, because even on my job that I got laid off of because of the COVID, it's very male dominated. Very like what do you call it? Machismo. A lot of masculine energy going around there, and even like a lot of the old, young and old, but even the older guys, like a lot of them had, they didn't even have, they barely had high school education. Some of them, the older guys, older men, and it's very religious. I live in a pretty non-progressive city, and so I'm around all these hard ankle men, and you had some women there who worked there as well, and some of the women, they had a more masculine energy, and but then you had, so I myself, I'm more on the masculine end of the scale of the spectrum. Now I was a little more feminine when I was a boy, but growing up, I grew more into I embraced my masculinity. So, and plus, I'm very introverted as well, and so I'm kind of an anomaly to a lot of people. And I don't talk much. I have to be really comfortable with you, then I can really talk. But so I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. And but I had a friend who was a lot more flamboyant than I am. And he was bigger, he was much bigger frame, and he just kind of almost glowed, and he was very well respected. And I don't know if some of that had to do with his family was the biggest family around there at the job. So he was one of them, but he was also, he was, he didn't go around saying I'm gay, but people knew it. Everybody knew it. But no, he was loved. He was pretty popular around there. Almost just everybody loved him. You would hear things like here and there. You would hear people gossiping and whispering. But with me, it's like everybody was curious. Everybody wanted to know my business and what's going on with me. And people would literally make up stories about me. Even to this day, there's things going on. Like I haven't even been on that job in probably a year, and I would always hear these stories, like these things coming back about me, and they'd be like, "Oh, they say you were doing this." And I'd be like, "What the heck? Like, how did y'all get that from?" And what it was, people just like to know your business, and if you're not, I envied, like in a way, I envied my friend, the more flamboyant one. because I used to tell him, I was like, I wish I was like you. And he used to be like, I wish I was like you. You know, I wish I was more shy. And but he was like more loud. That's naturally who he was. And it's kind of like we would envy each other. But I saw him as being privileged because he can embrace it. You know, he can be out there. But I never felt comfortable like being open like that. And then there was a couple of the guys who were more, you couldn't tell that they were gay at all. And they were, there was a couple of them around there. And I felt like they had privilege, like you. With some of us, it's like so many different flavors of gay. Like, and so
Yeah, we all envy what we don't have. I feel
yeah,
like the more masculine wants that appeal that a feminine guy brings, especially when he's higher energy. I'm more of a
yeah,
model tone. I'm more laid back
me too.
kind of guy. So I love hanging around extroverted people.
Yeah,
I kind of find energy through just letting them just be them. You know,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
so
exactly.
I can relate. I can relate. I don't but I was one to never really need to be in the front. I don't mind being behind the scenes kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, I can relate. Like I love me a loud queen. I I love me somebody
Not allowed.
who's energetic. I love it, and wish a motherfucker would play with them. I dare motherfucker to play with them. But I feel like when you have that, when you command that respect, because I feel like we be prisoners in our own mind. What we think that how people are gonna react. I know that was my issue, growing up in the church when you got your parents in the pulpit, preaching how wrong gay people are, or
Absolutely.
and all
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
This is not just preachers; these are my parents. I have to go home with these people, you know, and all and hearing the stuff that they say and hearing
Yep.
this on how
Yep.
they really feel towards the gay community. It just kind of puts you in this box that nobody will ever accept you, and so when you see a person who's just out and proud and gay and
Mhm.
living their best life, and you see that you kind of want that.
It invites you in.
Yeah,
It
it's like,
invites you
God
in,
damn, I'm over here
and
feeling one type of way, and you just as free as a bird.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah, I understand. I
Well,
it
let me
goes
understand.
to that
bust
privilege.
through.
Yeah.
Hey, mother, I caught
Hello.
you at the beginning when I was still at work. And you was in your first 30 minutes. Bitch, I done got all the way to fuck off work, don't work 8, 9 hours. And I done came through and you is still on here. What's good, mother?
What's my name,
Um,
Manny? What's my name? Mother.
mother. And hoes are still jealous about that. I just wanted to add my 2 cents. I'm a gay of a certain age. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gay of a certain age. And I'd have been around the block 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 200 times.
And I
But I
am now.
will say this. I appreciate some things about today. There's some things that I appreciate. There's some things I don't appreciate. Some of the things I do appreciate is the not just the openness, but the brashness of the young generation where they are unapologetic in who they are. And I love that about them. But I do think that there were certain lessons you learned back in the olden times where you couldn't be as open and unapologetic, and you couldn't be, and it taught you the value of excellence, and it taught you the value of not of being more than just mediocrity, because when it's just open and there's a whole lot more acceptance and tolerance, mediocrity becomes the norm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And back in the day where people were forced, in back into the closet, and very few, bothered. I remember back being in high school back in the 90s where every high school had their one. You had your one out
Yep. Yep.
token Your
Yeah.
one gay guy that was in the school, they were feminine, they were out. That was the one. That's all your school could have. You had one. That was the quota.
And I
And
was all,
once
and
you
I
met
was
that
and I
quota,
was the one always after the ass too.
watch this. I didn't meet the quota. I came in after the quota was already met because the guy who was out like that was in my class. I, the rest of us, we was in the closet. But what that meant is, for us, people might have had questions. What that meant was there was a certain level of excellence that we had to have about us in order to have doors open to us. Like in
Yes.
order to be on the track team like I was, or on, different sports and athletics and in the band and stuff like that, you had to be the best there was in order to have doors open for you. And now with the day of tolerance and acceptance, a lot of times there's this mediocrity that slips in, and then a
Yeah, because
sense of
now everybody want to
entitlement,
wear the track shorts now,
and then
and
there's
they
a
not
sense
even
of
running track.
entitlement about it. And then and I can even get past that, but there's the not even wanting to know from whence you have come or what it took to get us there. And so
Yeah.
like the old adage goes, if you never learn history, you're destined to repeat it.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so, you hate for us to go back and be pushed back into these corners and into closets and stuff like that, where people, force us to, be in places where we're not going to, where we shouldn't have to be anymore. And that's kind of why, and I know you was in there this morning, Mother, when I went live, and I said, we just cannot accept certain things anymore.
Yes,
And we just won't accept certain things anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say the same thing about the black community before segregation.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
when
But that's a whole
it wasn't
conversation.
acceptable to be black, you had
But
all
no,
kind of black excellence going
but let me
on.
say this
Yeah.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole conversation that the black community does not want to have, because a lot of the experience that black people went through is mirrored by the experience that people in the LGBTQ plus community experience. But the black community wants no parts of that. They don't want to embrace that fact. They don't want no
Yeah.
parts of it. They don't want anything to do with, and they even get upset and angry when you say that to them, that those experiences are similar. Oh, they don't want no parts of that.
Yeah.
You
Because they
said
want to.
something about going back into the closet, or you said something about the lines like that. Do you feel like that's why we have this fear when it comes to Lil Nas X? Do you feel like the fear of being set back?
First of all, Lil Nas X, is a whole ass troll. When Lil Nas X first came out, he told you he spent years being a troll page. He told you he has dozens of troll pages on social medias, because before he made it big, that's all he did was sit and troll on celebrity accounts and rappers and artists and social media influence. He was a troll. He'll tell you that. That is what he did. And so what ended up happening was, when he got on, even that hit Old Town Road was a whole troll song.
Yeah.
That ended up getting big because there is heavy sexual innuendo in that. And the fact that he knew that the genre that he was going in was one that is as homophobic as it comes. Country music is as homophobic as it comes in terms of music genres. That was a whole ass trolling session for this. And that was why you had the fighting in the country music genre where, oh no, that's not country. Oh, well, it is country. Part of it had to do with him being black. Part of it had to do with him being, you know what I'm saying, calling himself a rapper. And then part of it was just the lyrics itself. But the point is, I think that it was needed, because just like women say, the Lil Kims of the world and the Adina Howards of the world, and if you go way back in the 80s and the 70s, you had all kinds of women that was out there objectifying themselves and were proud to do it, and told them, I'm a sexual being and I'm a bisexual, and ain't nothing you could do about it.
Wasn't Aretha Franklin on
Wasn't
Aretha Franklin on the Soul Train was on Soul Train with them big ass titties out with
Aretha
that mesh
Franklin
shirt
had her
on.
first child at 12. That tells you how
Yeah,
sexual
Aretha
she
always
was.
was
Okay, let's be
on
clear.
high back then.
And
Aretha
I'm
Franklin
saying, and
was
Earth, Wind, and Fire had on them fucking latex outfits before anybody was
Listen,
having latex out.
listen,
Like
Verdine has the
this shit.
best bob I've ever seen in my life. Verdine from Earth, Wind, and Fire has the best bob I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Please be clear.
And I'm
The
saying,
reason why I had said that was because I'm seeing not a lot, but I'm starting to see, oh, I'm gay, but I'm not that type of gay.
Yeah,
You know, oh,
that's the
I'm gay,
thing.
but
and
I'm
look, and
not
I say that's the
I'm not
stupidest thing anybody can ever say.
yeah,
Well,
I'm
because
not
let's
the
be clear.
demonic.
At the
We would
moment that
believe in heaven
somebody
too. You know,
announces,
I'm starting to see that, and it's like, okay, but
but it's an oxymoron because
you
at the
guys,
moment that you say that you're
nice.
gay, at the moment that you say that you're gay, to the rest of the straight world, you have emasculated yourself and you are a
Yes.
dick and a booty ass F
Yeah,
word
nigga.
to them. I don't care
Yeah,
how masculine
we're
you
not
present
dancing with the
yourself.
devil. We're not giving the devil a lap dance. We're not that. We're not. You know, I'm seeing the panic. Like, why did he do that? Now people are gonna think that we're those people. Like we don't.
I was,
You know, I'm
you know,
seeing that panic, and I'm like,
When I
calm
saw it, I
down.
was turned the fuck on.
Oh, I'm
It
seeing
was
that
hey,
too.
I
I
was
don't.
I
I
too.
don't
was
even.
I
turned
I
on.
was
don't even
too.
see. I
No,
don't
no,
even
no.
see what
But
all
let me be clear.
the hell is
Let me
about.
let
I
me
just
call it
don't
what
see
it
it.
is. Let me call it really what it is. And this is something that
I
the
wish I was the devil.
LGBTQIA community
Yeah.
doesn't tell you. The LGBTQIA plus community is one of the most racist entities
It
Oh
in
is
yes.
America.
absolutely
Oh
is.
And the
yes. Oh
fact that
yes.
you have this young man who is black and
And
gay
mainstream.
and is getting this much publicity, the white gays are upset that it's not them,
Yeah.
that they're not the ones doing this. So they will proliferate and perpetuate the hate for this young man even more than the straight community because they want no parts of, and he doesn't even fit into the mold of the stereotypical
He doesn't.
black gay that they want. They want the Don Lemons of the world and the
He a switch to
Sean
me.
T's of the world and the RuPaul's of the world, who's going to be the token. I'm gonna have a white man on my arm. I'm gonna do everything you
Yeah.
want me to do.
Do
I'm
you
gonna say
people
everything
said
you
that he
want me
was
to
going to be
say,
a white man? I think he's black.
What you
and I'm
mean?
not
Why
gonna
you
be
think they put him out like
unapologetically
that?
black.
I want to see Lil Nas with a rapper.
He's not
A
unapologetically
real
black. Can I interject? I
yeah.
just had a question for my friend right here in the purple. When you were speaking on the history of things, when you went back to the time of black excellence, my question for you is, how do you go from James Baldwin to Lil Nas X, and how do you defend that?
I believe James Baldwin would have
Oh,
defended
well,
Lil
let's
Nas
be
X.
clear. If you ask me if James Baldwin was still alive, I would probably venture to guess James Baldwin would say, kudos to fucking you,
I
Lil Nas
disagree.
X.
I
And
disagree.
you're talking to a member of the black intelligentsia, someone
I
who James
disagree.
Baldwin is in my Mount Rushmore of
Well,
black
he's
people who
in
have
my
graced
Mount Rushmore too. Why you
the
think I
earth.
spoke of him?
But let me say this, James
You were
Baldwin
talking
would
about
also
black excellence.
understand.
How do you go from James Baldwin when
Let me
he was
explain.
revolutionary? He
Let
refused to
me
bow down to
explain.
the man, to Lil Nas
But
that's
let me
doing the
explain
work
how you go
for the
from
man.
James Baldwin to that. James Baldwin also understand that human beings, the human species, and specifically, if you want to go more specifically to black gay men, are not monolithic, and we are very
And I
well
absolutely agree
rounded.
with that. But my point is,
Just
it's not
as
even
there is
about
a
black
place,
gay
wait a
men
minute,
in
wait a minute.
particular.
Just as there's
I've
a
been listening
place
to y'all
for
for
a
hours,
James
and you're
Baldwin,
only talking about the black gay
just
man part of it. It's so much more than that. Like when you
if
talk
but
about
that's who
emasculation,
we're talking
don't
about
you
today.
think? Don't you think that white supremacy racism doesn't mind a Lil Nas getting up there and acting like he's acting?
Oh, they do
What does
mind
that
that.
do
They do
for
mind that.
the
Oh, the and
emasculation
I
of
see you're
the
not see that's
black
the problem.
male, not the black gay
Olivia,
male? Wait a
Olivia,
minute.
but the black male,
Olivia,
not
you
the
asked
black
me a
gay
question
male.
and you
It's
never
about more than
let me
that.
answer it. You gotta let me answer the question.
There's a
You
trial
gotta
on
let me
TV
answer the
right
question,
now
ma'am.
because a black man was pretty
Hello?
much
You said
lynched
that
by the way of a
Hello?
knee.
fucking
And we
talk.
talking about
Hello?
a little stupid boy that's getting fucked by all these white men, okay?
Hello?
And they giving him
Hello?
30 pieces
Olivia,
of
you
silver
asked a
to sell
question
his
and never
soul
waited for
while you
the
got this
answer.
white man on trial for lynching this man in front of the whole world.
Oh my God.
That's my issue.
We're not getting
You
anywhere
cannot
with you
ask
just
a
talking.
question and then not
Right.
wait for the answer to said question.
Jesus.
Okay, go
That's
ahead,
not how
El
this
Teddy.
works.
Go ahead, El Teddy.
To answer your question, I think that the true black gay men in the black gay men diaspora would applaud him because we understand that yes, we are phenomenally intelligent, but we are sexual beings as well. And I think if you
Yeah, but
really
this is not that.
hold on,
This
no,
is
no, no,
not
no, 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 no,
that.
no.
Wait a minute,
Let me
Olivia.
finish.
Wait a minute, Liv.
Hello.
Hold on, baby. Go ahead.
If you truly are an intellectual being, you will understand the intellect and intelligence even in the video. See, if you look at it from the surface level, if your level of thinking is surface level and all that you look at it for is the sexual nature
I'm
of
thinking
it,
it's not surface level.
you
I'm not thinking about the
remove,
sex. I'm not
hold
thinking that
on,
it's
let me
gay.
finish. You remove the fact that there are so many metaphors, there's so much allegory in it.
Okay, so
There's
cause
so much that it
here's the
speaks
thing. They
to
said
the
Lil Nas
experience.
said
Hold
in
on,
the
let me
interview.
finish.
Let me finish.
Hey,
Lil Nas
hey.
said in the interview.
Hello,
They told him he was
hello,
gonna go to hell because he was gay.
hello,
So
hello,
cause they said he
hello,
was gonna go to hell because he was
hello,
gay, that means he supposed to do a
hello,
video about him going to
hello,
hell and usurping the
hello.
devil. That's just like saying my mama
Olivia,
told me I was gonna jump off
you
a
are
bridge
you
when I was 20.
Conversations,
So let me go and jump off the bridge.
Damn, I
Olivia,
done poked the
you
bear.
That don't
cannot
make sense.
interrupt people. That shows
I
little to no
understand, El Teddy, and I
intelligence.
love you, but you take it too long to get to the point.
You love us, but you won't let us
How?
talk.
No, you
Just
asked me a
listen. If you
question
ask
and
a
I can
question,
And you
fully
still on the
explain it.
same question. I done asked you 2 or 3 since then, baby. I don't mean no
No,
harm.
you
hold on, let her
interrupted me
finish. She
14 or
trying to
15
you
times
just
since
trying
then.
to okay.
let
What
her
I'm saying
finish.
to you is this. All of it speaks to the experience. And unfortunately, it's impossible for you to fully grapple with that or understand that because that cannot ever be your experience at this point.
Yes, it can be my
But
experience because guess let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Wait a minute. Hold up. Don't diminish my experience of being black in America. It does not diminish my experience. And the
I
fact
didn't say that it diminished
you
your
are
experience.
diminishing the fact that this is about so much more than a little black boy that's in his feelings because they told him he was gonna go to hell because he's gay. Okay, it's about much more than that. They want to
This is
emasculate
pointless.
you as a whole.
This is
They already
pointless.
call black men devils. This is uplifting that. What do you mean? So don't
This is
diminish how
pointless.
I feel about the video because I see it in a whole
You
other
won't
light.
listen to other people's
Because I have
views.
black men in my family, little black boys. Okay?
Right. Shut
And I don't want
Shut
nobody
up and
thinking that
fucking
they
listen.
devils got
See,
some
this
little
the fear I
fool
was talking
just swung
about.
up on the pole.
This
Shut
the
up
fear.
and listen. Shut up and listen.
Olivia,
Hey, sweetheart. So what part are you more offended by? That he going
I'm
down the
offended
pole,
by
or
the
was he dancing on the
representation of
devil?
the black male. I'm
But there's more.
offended by the representation of the black male, which is
Okay, but
why I asked my first
hey,
question.
love. But I
I'm
get
not
what you said.
offended. I
Look,
don't
look,
care
look, look,
about
look,
him
look,
being
look.
gay.
I
I
get
don't
what you
care about him
saying.
being
Look,
gay. I don't
but you,
care
The
about him.
fear.
His
but in
mama
a
telling him
sense,
he was gonna burn
but
in hell.
love,
I
but
don't care
love, in a
about that.
sense, you do though. But love, in a sense, you do care
Yeah, you
about
do.
him
I
being
You
care
gay.
about
showing you
the
do.
In a sense, you do
representation. Yes, I
but
do.
there's no one black man. There's no one
But they put
first of
you
all,
ideal
out
of the
under
Olivia,
black
one
man.
blanket. Do you understand the fact
unfortunately,
that you was born with a target on your back? Do you
Yeah,
Olivia,
understand that?
yes, sweetheart. And
Olivia,
guess what, sweetheart? I'm a
I
Olivia,
black
want you to
as
man.
black as
acknowledge
you
No, no,
that.
no,
are,
no, no, no. Guess what, sweetheart?
no, no, I got this.
I'm
Let
still
me
a
Oh
black
explain this to you,
man. I
Olivia.
still got the
As
target on
much
my
of a
back.
black woman
Not
as
yes,
just
you
you
on
do.
my
are,
You
back.
gonna
I
die
still
with
got.
that target on your back. I agree.
Hey,
That's my
love.
point.
So
Bring it
why not?
in.
So why not
Bring
live
it
my
Olivia,
for
life
her.
to the fullest then? So why not live my
Bring it
life
for her.
unapologetically
So why
Olivia,
not
you're
because
feed
of
into the
that?
you're just
stereotype?
looking to
Bring it
So
for
why
argue at
not
her.
this
feed
point.
into the stereotype?
But they're gonna always have a stereotype. Guess what? I'm a black man that love chicken. I'm a black man that love watermelon. They're gonna always have a stereotype. They're gonna always have a stereotype.
At no point.
But the thing is,
As long
why,
as listen,
love? Why do we
scared for Lil
care?
Nas, and you scared of the reaction that you're gonna get because the backlash
the
that
other
black
part
people are
about
gonna
it
get
is-
because of it.
Come
the
on.
other part
And
about it is here's the sobering fact, Olivia. The sobering fact is there's no part of your life that will ever give you the opportunity to speak for the black male or speak to the whole experience of a black male because you are not one and you never will be one. And as much as you may be black and aligned with them,
I have every right to empathize and sympathize for the black male. Okay? What do you mean?
But
I think you're scared of the backlash
hey, can I talk to her?
Gonna happen to you now?
See, because I have her in my family. So can I please talk to her?
Go right
ahead.
ahead.
Am I being homophobic here? Because I give a fuck?
No. Hey, I got this, y'all. I got this. Please.
Because you're not making sense.
Hey, look. Hey,
you have to listen. You have to listen for somebody that makes sense. You have to listen.
Olivia. Olivia. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, sweetheart.
Back up here and have a civil conversation that explains what I meant earlier. I simply want to say that
I believe that you're misunderstood.
Being gay.
Okay, I believe you're misunderstood and misdirected. But see that same passion, that same passion that you're showing over the phone is being misdirected and it's being misconstrued because you're not letting anybody else answer your question.
No, it's not.
But you're on a panel. You're on a panel. But the thing is, but love. No. Please don't interject. Everybody, please don't interject.
And my nephew.
I understand that. But guess what? I am your nephew. I am your cousin.
Right.
I am the black man. So let me ask. So as a black man, let me answer you. As a black man, let me answer you. I feel your frustration. I feel your frustration, and I hear your passion.
You know what? The problem is you need to get over childhood trauma and look at the bigger picture. Okay?
No. But the
childhood trauma. Nobody talked about having childhood trauma.
As a black man, hearing my black queen talk like this to a black man, that's not gonna help us.
Oh yes,
like we need to because we have to because we have to effectively communicate, sweetheart.
Go back and look at the big picture. Maybe that's what it will do.
Sweetheart, we have to effectively communicate.
We have to effectively that we're dealing with here.
It's not about the sexual aspect of it. I'm talking, and the thing about it is, I'm not even talking about Lil Nas X.
No, it's not.
I'm talking about you and me and every black man that's on this panel.
That's right.
We cannot effectively have a conversation when you want to dominate over the conversation.
And you're not even listening, Olivia.
But the thing is, you are.
You are dominating. You're not listening. You're dominating.
I know you're not, sweetheart. I know you don't intend to. I know you're not trying to. But your passion.
I'm not scared.
I understand.
I'm just gonna lie. I agree.
The thing is,
on some level.
Yes.
On some level, I get that because you're a woman. You are a nurturer.
Right.
You are a nurturer. I understand that. But we're trying to get to you, my queen.
Yes. I'm scared.
You scared of the backlash that's going to happen because of what he done.
I don't want my baby demonized.
I get that.
Let's be clear.
But the thing is, we understand that.
Before there was this video, the white people demonized your baby.
Exactly.
To proliferate that. That was already there.
Olivia, you don't want their fears confirmed.
That's weird as fuck to me.
But the thing is, in order for us to have a community, but for us to have a conversation and communicate, you can't take that frustration out on us. We're the same black men you trying to save.
Come on.
So all we asking is you can have all the passion that you need and all the passion that you have. That's admirable. I admire the passion that you're trying to show. But you're not letting anybody else chime in with
And
to
the
try
thing
to
about it is,
meet you on
and
that
let me
same
say this
level.
too. Even with you yelling, you're not getting any closer to the answer. And if we're trying to have dialogue, and if we're trying to have understanding, there must be an opportunity for you to listen and not just hear. The word ear is in the word here because by reasoning of you having a functional ear, you can hear. But are
See
you
that? Well, El
listening
Teddy,
and
I love
truly
you, I do, but I don't
cognitively
need to.
reasoning
El
what we're
Teddy,
saying?
you
You
trying
can
to give
no,
me
you're
lessons,
not.
baby. But I
I,
real quick, El Teddy, you need to hurry up and get to the
you're not
point.
listening to what we're saying. And what I'm
I
saying
am
to you is
listening.
this,
I
ma'am.
get it. Quick,
This is
quickly.
becoming pointless.
No, it's I don't think it's pointless because she's the type of
Yeah, it's
person
not
that we need
pointless.
to meet. She's the type of person that we need to have the conversation with. Because I
She's
understand her
scared,
front.
and I'm
Oh,
scared
I
the
to
type
watch
of
get,
her
but the
person
thing
that
is,
fly.
got
I
your
get
motherfucking back. Do you
right, right,
understand that? The hell?
and look, and
I'm
I get
scared.
that,
I don't know
but
Look,
what's gonna happen to
Having
Lil
your
Nas
back
X.
when you
can
doing
I
that.
tell you this? Hey, my queen, can I tell you this though? That's another trick of the enemy that keeps us from having a dialogue and keeps us
It
having
is.
a conversation.
what is
So, and
that?
if we want to rebel against that, before as if I'm going on like this and you and you the same way, then we're not getting anything across, sweetheart.
Not at all.
That's another
Not at
trick of
all.
the enemy to where I'm going to rally my passion against yours, you rally your passion against mine, and we don't hear each other. So, my queen, all I'm asking is you have every right to feel the way you feel. Your opinion is valid, just like everybody on this panel. All
I
I'm
know
trying to
my
say,
opinion is
but
valid. Why you think I clicked the link? I don't.
but the thing is, but I
But
don't want
your
you to be
opinion
in
is
a.
the
I don't want
only
you to be
valid
in. I don't want you to be in
opinion.
a. I don't want you to be in a space of that we're attacking or that you have to be defensive. You don't
I'm
have
not
to do you.
defensive.
I want you. I really want you to feel like this is a
I'm not
safe space
defensive.
for you to have your opinion. But
I'm not
love when.
coming up here to be
But see,
defensive.
I can talk to you. See, right now your tone of voice. I can talk to you right now. We can have a conversation right now. Let's just try to keep that in mind that this is a trick of the energy of the enemy to keep your passion and your and try to
Can I say
validate
something?
each other's passion. Yes, queen. You
I
go ahead.
think it's the whole slave thing. Like, if we run away and we get caught, you already know the consequences of that. So let's not even take that chance. Cause it's a fear. It's a fear. It's like he did this big thing, but it's like, okay, but what about the backlash? Like, what about the rest of us? We don't
Mm-hmm.
have money. We don't have money to protect us. You can sit in your house all day. Like, you
Right,
have
right, right,
protection. We don't have it.
right.
Y'all not the average gays. Y'all not. RuPaul, y'all have the protection. We
But the
don't.
thing
We
about
out
it
here.
is, but even to you, Naya, let me say this. As I stated earlier, we are, as Black people, we are not a monolith. As gay people, we are not
Like,
a
it's
monolith.
bold.
And
But
for
we
us
are
We
to
our
expect
people.
that
but it's
one
scary.
person,
But we are
hold on,
our
for
people.
us, let me
What do you
finish.
mean?
For us
Why
to
you keep trying
expect
to
that
separate
every,
yourself?
hold on, for us to expect that every Black person or every gay person has to give answer to one person is not
It's about
fair, and
gay.
it's not any, and that's not cognitively reasoning.
It's not
That's
about
It's
not
not.
But
gay.
they
intelligent.
group us all together
To
anyway, and that's
even
the
if that
fear.
is the case,
The only
watch
reason
this.
why I
That's
believe
why
this
you
is
got
the
the
only reason
whole.
why I
We're not
believe this
like
is
That's
as
them
gay.
though.
big.
That's why we're not
The
that type
the
of
reason
that.
why this is as big as it is
That's
because
gay.
what other black young man right now in pop culture that's on the charts right now?
He's not.
What
He's
what
mad talented and mad creative.
what
I
other
don't see any
black gay artists out right now that's on
Logan,
the part
Logan, let
charts?
me help you. Let me
none.
help you
He's the
get to the
first,
answer to your
which
question,
is why
Logan.
he's gonna
The
be
answer to
the
your
scary
question
one.
is this. Let me help you get down to the nitty gritty. If that young man did not profess to be gay, we would not be having this conversation. Not, we might be
That's
having a
not true.
conversation, but it
I
wouldn't be
disagree.
passionate. And I'm gonna just cut
Come
it
on.
right to the
And
chase.
I
You
And
call
disagree.
a
that is
thing a
I
what
thing.
it
believe.
is.
Look, I believe that too because I
I
believe
disagree.
Let's
we're
Call a
just be
trying
thing
to
a
clear.
thing.
because I feel like they try to use
And he's
the children.
unapologetic
I
about
feel
it.
like, and
And
they use the
I
He's such
children
a
applaud him
man.
for that.
aspect of it.
He's such
Like,
a
oh,
man
what we
being
gonna do about
apologetic
our
about it.
kids? What we gonna? how we
kind
going
of
to
have
present
to
this to
agree
our
with that
kids.
a little bit because
First of all, if you let your
Extension, when
kids
he
watch
died,
anything, the
he
problem is
was
you,
in
not
that
him.
video sad.
I
He was
agree.
looking at his
I
own dead
agree.
reflection
Yep.
and he was fighting his own
Yep.
demons. And I remember that when
Yeah,
he
I
got
remember too.
on the I forgot, it was like the rap cipher, and he was like, if there was an apocalypse, I would kill all of you fuckers. And he was saying that, and it sounded like a real demonic, whatever the fuck he was saying, like some real truth, but he ended up dying. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was nowhere near this level of outrage.
It's so
No,
much
people
And
were
let's
making
be clear.
parodies.
Anytime, first of all, let's talk about Western civilization and the fact that it is dominated by Anglo and Christian beliefs and societies and things like that, which we know go far beyond the West in terms of what is right and wrong, and they have their own personal heavens and hells to put people in, not the real heavens and hell. So that's part of
Exactly.
it too.
I
Let's
agree.
be clear.
I agree.
But
I'm
the
scared.
other
I just
part
don't
about
want
it
him to
is,
die. And I think that's where my fear goes because
That's what
I
my fear
know
goes too.
my brain is telling me that I should not support this, but my heart is telling me he's a good person. Like he's not satanic at all.
They
Like,
killing
and I
gay
feel
men
it.
on the street. They killing gay men on the street. Transsexual black women on the street. You know, why are we not talking about that? What
I
don't you think
know.
that's perpetuating homophobia when it comes to the Anglo in particular? You know,
Young
why
people
But
don't have no
that's
fear
because
though.
that's
They
because
don't have
we can
fear.
run
They don't have fear. They don't
run
know
and
it.
chew
They
gum
don't
at the
sense
same
it.
time.
I mean, I realize that's my point. Actually, it's about so much more, in my opinion, than being
so
gay.
why the
There's
You
outrage
nothing
thinking
then?
wrong
about
with him being
self-preservation.
So why
unapologetically
is there
gay.
the outrage then?
Why should
If
there be
you
outrage?
know that there are
Do
so
you know
many more
do you
pressing
realize? Are you
issues, why
living in
the
the same
outrage?
America that I'm living in?
Because
Yeah, but
regardless if
we
this
can't
video
allow that
came
to
out or not,
terrify us, though, sweetheart.
if
It's not about being
regardless if this video
terrified.
came out or not, they were already doing that. They were
It
already
is
doing that.
terrified.
Absolutely.
It is because you want to protect the babies. And I completely
question.
understand that.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Where
And
was
you
this
feel like
But
level of
also
we
too,
outrage
already
and
have it
protection
bad.
but
prior
Why
to
do you
don't
want
last
to add
Thursday?
to it?
but the thing is,
Why
don't
do you want to
protect
give them
don't
what they
pro-
want?
as a black gay man, as a black man, don't protect me through fear.
Hey,
Don't
but that's my
Yeah.
protect. I
question
don't
right
want
there.
your. I
That's
don't want
my
your
question right
protection
there.
if your
That's
protection
my question right there.
is around
That's my
fear.
question.
It's
That's
not
my
about
question.
Because
Are
your
we
fear,
so
your
are we going
protection
to
and
so
fear is going to keep me from living.
And
Come
what
on.
I
was
Your
have
your
protection
fear
and fear
concern
too.
is
for
going
I'm
to
not
us
keep
gonna
me from
lie.
before
living.
last Thursday when
are
this
we
video
so
dropped?
scared that
Because
we're
now
struggling?
everybody's concerned about us. Now everybody has this outrage after last Thursday night when this video dropped. But there was none of that outrage or concern.
It
Nobody
was
was talking
Come
until
on,
they
about
man.
brought
Come
how
up
on.
the
they were
children, and
afraid
I was
for
like,
Exactly.
us
"Oh shit, here we go with the children
before
talk."
then.
Yeah, the kids
It
keep
happens in
the kids
levels.
keep coming up.
I
Kids
think so.
keep coming
Can
up.
I say something? Sometimes
I
I
have
think
brought up the fact several times about the large amount, the increasing number of black gay men that are being murdered in this country. I brought that up long time ago. That was a question that I had for the gentleman's panel
But
long time
but
ago.
the
Yeah,
No,
thing is,
and
that's
it's
what
an
we were
issue,
talking
and
about.
it's a
and I
serious
hear
issue.
that,
But I
And
It's
think
a
that's
the anger
why,
serious
needs
issue.
the
it's
anger needs to be
combative.
channeled
Like,
toward the people who are killing. That's where the anger needs to be
and
that's
channeled
that's
toward.
That's what
why
it counts.
men are the
My anger.
fighters
Do
and
you
women
think
are
that
the
my anger is
naturers.
towards you?
See, that's the thing. That's what I be wanting to get. I want to get the panel to realize as well, and take in account that the anger is not towards us, y'all. The
It's
passion
not.
is not towards us. Is this is the only, probably one of the only ways that you know how to release that or how to
Yeah, it's like
communicate
don't
that.
do that, or we're all gonna
So
get in
right.
trouble. We're all gonna get put on timeout.
But that's not helpful.
That's
That's not
what
how
it
people
said.
It's not
realize
even about that. It's not even really not that basic. These times, it's the whole imagery of it for me. You know, if I if my nephew, now I would be angry. I'm passionate now, but I would be angry about that video. Had one if I would have been living with one of my nephews and he would be gay.
Okay, so
I really
can
would
I
have been outraged
respond?
then.
Can I respond as your nephew?
Yeah.
If I was your nephew growing up, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that, and let me
That's
tell
what
you
you
what,
would have
and let me
gotten.
tell you, and let me tell you why I would have loved to see that. Because when I grew up with BET After Dark watching Tip Drill. I grew up at night. I grew up watching videos with titties shaking,
Yep.
little to
Yep.
no clothes on.
Yep.
See, I didn't have nothing that showing that I can be a sexual being too. I had nothing
Exactly.
showing that my sexuality was okay. That
Exactly.
I can be sexual, and I can be all of these things as my heterosexual counterparts can be. So
So this is your version of
growing
Tip
up,
Drill?
yes, this is my Tip
How?
Drill. Because how he was flying. Look, I don't want to be vulgar on here because I see you as an auntie.
Be
But
vulgar.
No, you're big vulgar.
as I see him sliding down that pole, I wanted to be the pole. I wanted to be Satan.
Okay.
Yes.
Like I wanted to be Satan. And growing up as a
What?
16-year-old, they're already thinking about sex already.
They
You know
are.
what?
So
Let
I
me
would say,
interject
I
right
would
here.
say,
Let me
I would say,
interject. He
Auntie,
couldn't
let me
have done
watch
that
this.
video without putting the Satan part in her. He could have done that video without invoking
But I
Satan.
think
Now,
that
now
if he
that part,
put,
now
listen,
that's a
He
different
could have slid
conversation.
down
but
a
no, if he
pole
put the
He is.
Satan
and
part,
twerked
he
on
did
you
exactly
without
what
in
Olivia,
he
a
wanted
Satan
to do.
costume.
Again,
Olivia,
what if he loved
those were
Satan?
different versions of himself. All of those were
But
him.
even if you take it,
Exactly.
but
And
even if you take it as
he
being the Satan
seduced his
part,
darker
the
self and
part
then
that's
took
being
over and
missed
became that.
is, but the part is that's being missed about it being Satan is the message. The message was whether or not I want to, y'all sending me to hell anyway.
Exactly.
So since
And
y'all
I'm gonna
Exactly.
sending
say
me to
So
hell
you
Exactly.
gonna
anyway,
go with, you gonna
since
embrace it?
everything
yeah,
I want,
You gonna
absolutely,
embrace
because
hell?
I can't.
the
Okay.
dark
Wait,
side,
Olivia,
like
let me
Star
say this to
Wars.
you, Olivia. Let me say this, and this is for a lot of straight people that don't understand. Here's what ends up happening.
You gonna embrace hell?
At the moment that a young black,
Is
gay,
hell.
lesbian, whatever person comes and a person asks them about their sexuality, what you don't understand is it doesn't matter if that person says yes, no, or some other version of yes or no. They understand that the other person has already made an opinion that they are. Because at the moment that
Yes.
they ask you if you are, they've already sent you to hell in fire and brimstone anyway.
It don't matter
And
what they say.
it
It's
becomes a
up to
part
you to
where
choose
there's
that.
the grappling with that, and there's the trying to figure out whether I tell the truth or whether I not tell the truth. And
Yeah.
what he's saying is, damn, how that person feels. If they sending me to hell anyway, I'm gonna enjoy myself and have a good fucking time.
And
Because
you
if you
see
ain't
what
got
he
no
did.
You
hell,
Did
realize
y'all
take
how
me the
see
fuck
idiotic that
in.
sounds? That sounds ridiculous.
No, it doesn't.
So since
That's
since
ridiculous for
somebody
you
told you you're
because
going to
that's not your
hell, you might as
experience.
well embrace it. If I tell you to
Listen,
jump off a bridge because you gay, you gonna embrace it? You gonna
I
go
No,
might
but
make
jump
a
it
off a
video about
bridge?
me
trigger.
jumping off a
It
bridge,
trigger
yeah.
you.
You
That's
Or I
gotta
the
might
let
make
that
a
make
video
controlling
about it.
part
make
of
But
it.
sense.
Don't
It
make
would just
sense.
trigger you.
Well, you
I'm
just
not,
you
said
want
make
him to
sense.
rise
I'm
above
not,
it, but
I'm
understand
not
something
embracing going to hell.
that
The
I
video
don't
was
see.
I
done
don't
for
think
this
it wasn't
very
about
it's
purpose.
him
not
going
even
to
It
hell.
you
It was
missed the
triggered
about
you.
him
whole
embracing his
allegory and
hell.
imagery of it.
But
That's
that's what
why
he
I
said
said
in
you're
his
All of
looking
it
at
interview.
it
was
from
him.
surface level.
That's
And
Montero
this,
what he
was
said in
him.
his interview.
if I embrace going to
That was
hell,
his
what
garden.
difference is it
That
gonna
was
make to
his
you?
songs. That was him
Look at
condemning
look at
his darker self to hell. And
look at
he
what he
took
did.
over
That
and
boy
embraced his
21 years
darker
old. He don't
self.
even know what the fuck his darker self
If
is.
I embrace going to hell, what difference does that make to
Now you're having ages about saying because he's 20, he
He's
can't.
21 years old. He don't know what the fuck even he is
You
talking
can't
about.
say that,
He
Olivia.
doing
Maybe
they
when you were
giving him
21, you
21 and
weren't having those
fearless.
they
thoughts, but you
giving him
can't say
whatever
that
he
about every
wants so they can
21-year-old.
suck on his dick
Understand
and
something. The
fuck him. That's
millennials
what
and
they
the
doing.
Generation
They
Z,
pacifying
they
his
do
ass
not
so they
care.
can use him
They
up
don't care
to
so
later throw
much
him
that
away.
they
That's how they
marched
torture
for
that little
George
boy.
Floyd and
That's how the
Hey,
fuck they
hey,
the
torture him.
Olivia.
line.
it sounds
Point
like you
blank
just want
Are
period.
y'all
Hey,
forgetting?
I gotta,
Are we
I just
forgetting
wanna,
the
He's
fact
I
actually
have a
living his
the
side.
best life
millennials
right
Hey,
that were
hey,
now.
hey,
just not marching in the street for
Really.
us?
I have a side note real quick. Olivia, do you play spades?
Yeah. Sure
Oh,
do.
I need you as my partner. I need you as my spades partner.
Okay.
No, because she gonna
someone.
tell y'all whole hand. She gonna tell every time y'all got good hands or bad hands.
I need her to
She
intimidate the
can't
person
keep
across
none
from
of
her.
it in.
Look, I want her.
Why
I
we
Y'all
want.
start
gonna lose.
stepping the
Listen,
issue?
let me play against y'all. Let me be the
With
team
the
against
flesh
y'all,
and
cause I'll
his
beat
eyes
y'all every
stuck
Hey,
to
time.
the entrance.
I'm down for that.
I'll
Now
beat
that'll
y'all
be a
I'll
good ass
beat y'all to
video.
sleep.
The
I'll be
flesh
running
and his eyes
Boston's on
stuck to
y'all.
the entrance.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, sound like a great ass space partner, or is she gonna throw them fucking dice
Deflecting
or them bones? You
the
play bones
issue.
too?
If someone embraced going
Yeah.
to hell, what difference does that
Can I
make
ask
to you?
y'all a question? Did y'all see the snippets for Scoop, Lil Nas' song? These lyrics are wild.
What was the
These
question?
lyrics are wild.
If someone
You
embraces
thought
going
the
to hell,
lyrics for the
what difference does
song?
that make to you?
Oh, I heard the lyrics. I read
The
them.
lyrics for the song, if y'all when y'all come out that argument, the lyrics for the song ain't got nothing to do with the video.
It's so
No, it's
dope.
At
about
all.
Talking
trade.
about
The
someone.
video was
And James, I heard you
controlled.
talking about that at the beginning of your video.
Right. It was
I heard
controlled.
you
He's
breaking down
trolling.
the lyrics. I did, and what
They
does
so
that have to
distracted by the
do
video
with
that they don't even understand the
with
But
Lil
even
song.
if
Nas
you go and
twerking
look,
on Satan's
It
lap?
don't have
What does that have to
anything
do
to
with
do
it?
with it.
but
Anything
if
to
you
do with it.
look, if you
Exactly.
look
He did
at
exactly what he set out to do, Olivia. You've been hollering about this all day.
He wanted to
He
create
did exactly what
He
he
wanted
wanted
to
to do,
create
baby.
controversy.
Millions and millions of views. He's trolling us. He was
And
He
I
said that the
trolling.
understand
song was.
that. I
I heard his
understand that, but
interview
that's kind of not
that
the
That
he.
point.
song has
Olivia,
not. This was the
Olivia,
marketing. That song has
That's
absolutely
right. It was
nothing to do
marketing.
with that
I
image,
agree.
the imagery.
And to be
but
honest, the song ain't really
And
all
the
of that.
imagery is
Yeah.
very,
James,
No, the
very
if you
song's
derogatory
all of
go,
that.
imagery.
That
but
Spanish
James,
guitar
people miss
takes me out.
Olivia,
James,
question,
people miss
question.
that before the video
Very
got released.
derogatory imagery. No, I don't agree.
Before the video
Question.
got released, he released a letter on his Instagram
I
to
was
the
going to go to
person
that. I was
who
going
the
to mention
song
that.
is about, talking all about the lyrics to the song before we even saw the video. He went and told us what it truly
What
was
it's
about
about.
before that. And you can go, it's still out there right now, but people are
And it was
ignoring that part.
controversial by itself. And it had nothing to do with Satanism or any of that. It literally has to do with fucking trade.
Mhm.
It really does.
But even more than that, even beyond that, it's about him embracing who he is. It's about him embracing who he is. That's what the
He
video meant.
said
That's
the reason why he did that video. Yeah, he said the reason he did that video was because people were going to demonize the song anyway. So he was like,
anyway.
"Fuck it, let's take it
So
to
he might as
hell."
well embrace it.
Exactly.
Triggered him,
And so
telling
this
him he was
whole,
going to hell. He
and
triggered
that's
them
why I
back.
kept saying people are
That's
missing the
all.
whole metaphor and allegory because y'all sitting thinking about it at the surface level, and you missing the whole point that was being made by it and the artistry that goes into it.
And what did he do to the question to Olivia? What did you make out of what he did at the end of the video? What did he do to Satan?
He
What did you
snapped
make
his
of that?
neck. He snapped his neck and he put on a crown.
What did you make out of that?
I thought it was ridiculous because you can't usurp that type of energy. The whole thing is disingenuous. It's a flat out fucking lie. You lied to these young people and you making them think it's cool, which is my issue, and it's not even cool to be so ignorant. That's what I thought of it.
I'm just saying, I grew up listening to Lil Boosie talking about two red bones kissing in the back seat
Hell,
all
Satan.
my life. I've listened to all kind of rappers when they talking about bitches and hoes, slapping hoes, and all kind of
But
stuff.
that goes
And
into the male fantasy.
I never got this much craziness
But why
about
you
it.
can't do it? Why can't he do the video to match the lyrics? Number one, and if you
Because
want to
first
look
of all,
real type video, that's
I
fine.
mean, but the
and
thing is
mother, you will
that's his.
appreciate this. But
That's
mother,
his.
you will
That's his
appreciate this.
creativity.
Appreciate this. There's so much literature. There's so much writing. There's so much art form that does the exact same thing that points to going down into hell and points to different things. And it's not that they're specifically talking about dealing with the devil and going down into hell. It's more so the allegory and the metaphors and what it represents for us here on earth and how we live and how we deal with each other. And the fact that people get all caught up in themselves over the references to Satan and hell is for the lowest forms of intelligence, because they know that
I
people with
disagree.
lesser of
Are you
intelligence,
saying
that's what they're
Dante's
going to harp
Inferno
on
is for the
instead of
lowest form of
by missing the
intelligence?
real message.
Wow. What do
No,
you think about Dante's Inferno?
Inferno is about the living hell that we are experiencing here on Earth, and the
Exactly.
debauchery.
So why did he
that
just say that? Oh God.
But see, I was going to bring that up.
Because it's art. Art is art.
In art, I'm not supposed to just come out flat and say it.
Wow.
You're supposed to do interpretation. That is what intelligence is about.
Well, you just said it was the lowest form of whatever you just said. So now you're backtracking. Oh, because I mentioned Dante's Inferno. So now you're backtracking that comment. Is that what we're doing?
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with this.
Did you
America.
assume that I'm hollering and screaming and acting ignorant, as you say? Did you assume that I wasn't well read? Did you assume that?
No, I'm not assuming that you're well read.
That I'm a ghetto bitch
you were
that
afraid
never
for
went
your
to college, that don't know anything about anything? Is that what you're
for your
assuming?
nieces and nephews? I assumed that you would not be able to explain it to them, or they weren't cognitively
We've already had this discussion about that video money. Oh, we've had that discussion in my house. Oh, yes, we have.
So where's the problem? Why can't they figure that out then?
What they can figure out is what the fuck I say, okay? Because I said so.
But that's not how that works. That's not how intelligence works. Intelligence does not work by people thinking whatever you say.
Because I am the matriarch in my family. All right?
You could be all matriarchs,
and the problem with young people today is they don't have anybody leading them. They just out here afraid, just going whatever the fuck they see on the internet, like that bullshit from Lil Nas. That's the problem.
You giving mommy energy.
Giving a damn anymore. Whatever we're under Aleister Crowley's rule now. You know, do as thou willst. You can't run around doing as thou willst. You don't have to have a moral compass.
Olivia giving mom energy.
She's giving
young artists that are really doing the damn thing out there, Olivia. They got other young artists that are really positive. It's not just Lil Nas X. They got other
I know it's
artists.
not just Lil Nas X. My nephew likes the little rapper by the name of well, he ain't so little. What's his name? Rod Wave or something like that. He likes that fella. I like that rapper.
Yeah, he more on the positive side. So I think it's just about. I just think it's about being complex. It's about being complex and seeing that there's multiple ways of looking at things, and that we're all different.
Sorry to inform you, Olivia, but unfortunately, your sentiments are the reason a lot of the community stays in the closet and acts out when they do go out. Because it's statements like that makes them say, when you say you got to do as I say.
The reason why a lot of gay men were in the closet back then is because the church said that it was bad for him to do that. That is not what I'm saying.
But you just said that they have to agree with whatever you say, and that's not how life works.
Safety. My issue is if my nephew was gay, he would not be swinging up the damn pole, doing a fucking video, putting his life in fucking danger. So I have to kill some motherfucking body for fucking with my baby. That's what I'm saying.
Tough love. That's that tough love.
That is what I'm saying. Oh no! And he'd go down the street and nobody would fuck with my baby. You talked a little while
like
about
a black
the
mama.
one black boy being in school, you know, and probably people was bullying them or something. It wouldn't happen to mine.
What does that have to do with Lil Nas X's video? And
You
how
can
it wouldn't to make that work?
Like they fuck with everybody else's baby.
They wouldn't fuck with mine.
They would.
They won't put their motherfucking hands on them, not on my tail.
Yes, they would.
And when I say it wouldn't happen to mine, it wouldn't happen to mine. You better say it under your breath.
That's how the world is, Olivia. You be fighting.
Now I don't have nothing to do with it. Now when he grow up out of my house, I can't say what's going to happen to him.
You will be the first one on television crying if it happens.
We've all gone through it. All of us. And some of us got some of the.
I can't discount what you've gone through. I'm just saying, and I've never had to raise a gay black boy. Okay, so okay.
Everybody
goes through raise a gay black boy.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
It's not just a gay thing. If you got a child that's heavy set, somebody will call your daughter fat. No matter.
No, that's not what I mean, James. I don't mean. That's not what I mean.
Same thing, Olivia.
That's not what I mean. I mean, what I'm saying is I'm not going to let anybody hurt a child in my family. I'm not,
And
You
the
may
thing
not
is,
have a
I'm not
choice.
but the
Because you
thing
a
is,
mama
we
bear.
under,
I'm
You
not
can
I
allowed
under,
dictate
but
what
to
other
have
but
people
some type
Queen,
do.
of trauma.
but Queen, I understand that. Queen, I understand that you have that energy of that of Mama Bear. I understand that wholeheartedly, and I love that about you. But but you can't protect me from everything.
No,
No,
Yeah.
I
You
would.
can't.
I
You
y'all
cannot.
can't.
could have
That's
hurt me.
right.
You
That's
have
right.
to. But the thing is, you have to
Years.
raise me well enough to where I can protect myself.
Absolutely. That's what I meant by moral compass. Do you see what I'm saying? That is what I mean by that. While you are under my protection, it is my job and my to do to equip you with the things that
Right.
would allow you
And to do the
to
best that you
protect
can.
yourself.
But
So
also
But
Olivia,
too
he's
that.
but
But
he's
also too
21.
that
How can
may.
you do it?
But also too that may not be enough because as a parent, you're not my only influence.
Exactly.
You're
Right.
not my own,
exactly.
Don't work. I mean,
I
and
agree
you
with
just
you.
have to,
I understand I'm not your only
you have
it
to
influence.
sounds good
trust.
on
The thing
paper,
is,
but it's bullshit.
right? You
I,
have to
I
trust.
realize
Bullshit.
that I'm not
Do
your
you know
only
who hurt
influence.
me first, Olivia?
Uh,
You know who hurt me first
who's that?
and most?
Who?
My grandmother's mother. So what she
Okay.
did with her motherfucking ass?
All right. What
The
happened in my
first time
family?
I ever heard the
I'm
word
the matriarch
faggot,
in my family.
the first time I ever heard faggot, Olivia, it was my great
Your family.
grandmother. I was 7
Okay.
years old. What was
All
my
right.
mother supposed to do to her grandmother? She's supposed to beat her motherfucking ass?
What she's supposed, if you were, I mean, everybody's family is different. What happened in mine?
Now,
That's
this
all
is
I'm
what
saying.
I'm saying. But if you was to have said the same thing to my grandmother, she tells you even after it happened. I wish a motherfucker would. Excuse me, miss, did you just miss what that old whore just said in there? I wrote a whole book about it,
I mean,
Olivia.
we all look different.
Too, I
I
just
can
have
only,
to
I can
say,
only, I can
It
only
just
tell you
happened.
how it would would have been raised in my family. I
and
have not
also too,
have your, I have not have had your family experience, Spiller Boy. I'm just saying you wouldn't have gotten that type of thing in my family. And the
And
No.
only
the other
thing I
thing
have
is,
to
a
say
lot
is,
of times
I believe at
people
a certain
protect
point,
people in their family from being hurt so
What
that they
yeah,
can hurt them first. I'm just being
right.
honest. A lot of that protection of stopping other people from hurting a member of the family is so that they can hurt them first, either
Yeah.
consciously or
why would I want to
unconsciously.
hurt my
Unconscious.
baby
Because
first?
whether or not you know it
In
yet,
the house
there's a
before I ever
lot
went
of
into the
things
world
and a
with
lot
the
of
people that was
language
supposed to
that
be
happens
My
protecting me.
mother
in
was
So
like
our
that.
I don't
families
know.
where, like James said, that first hurt we receive is from the family. And
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that
it
is what
is.
Absolutely. That
forces
was
Can I
That
my
is
say
a lot of
true.
experience.
something?
kids
That
way
is
back
true.
into the
That's
closet.
true.
Wow.
Like I was saying, like I said, mine was my parents. My parents, like, and they hurt me without indirectly, not even knowing that I
Right.
was even gay.
Yeah.
My parents are ministers. Like I said before, my
Yep.
parents are
Mine too.
ministers, and my father was in the pulpit talking about these motherfucking fags going to hell.
Yeah.
But he didn't know that he was talking about
Wow.
his own son.
I'm
Wow.
gonna get to
They
you
So
never
before
do.
they get to you.
They
Like I
never do.
remember when I was over, I weighed a lot, and my mother was like, "Oh, you need to lose weight because you're this and that." But she was doing it out of love. But that shit hurt my feelings.
Well,
That shit hurt my feelings.
that's childhood trauma. So I mean, I get that.
That's what a
that's
lot of
the thing.
families do.
But
Like
Olivia,
I'm a
what was
But
protector.
said,
I
childhood
get it,
trauma,
but
childhood
It don't
trauma.
always be on purpose. You know that somebody stuff happens. Life is gonna happen, and your parents can't shield you from everything.
That's why I
they
think you
exactly.
Absolutely
have to.
cannot.
cannot.
I
You have
Cannot.
believe
to.
you. I believe you just gotta pray
They
that
You
you
can't.
have to
taught
I
them
equip
got
them.
fucked
that you
over
taught
and
them
everything
everything that
because
you
of who
knew.
did it. You know
That's
what I
what I
mean?
mean by
Right.
equipping them.
Right.
That's
But
what I
you
mean
have to
by
but
equipping
you
them
have to
in the
have
world.
faith though. You have to have faith that you equip them
Yes, you do.
enough to know that they
Yes, you
can handle
do.
this big bad world.
Yes, you
Because the
do.
world is cruel. But as long
Yes,
as they
it
have
is.
a loving place to come home to, it
Exactly.
There you
makes the
go. There you
difference.
go.
That's
Because
There
my
you
if I
go.
have
The
attitude.
other
I
part
because
agree
if
about
with
I
it
you.
have
is,
to if I have to live in hell at home and live in
Come on.
hell out in the streets, then I
Right.
really have no safe space.
No, no
but
place
I
the
to. You
other
agree.
don't fit
part,
That's
in
my whole
let
nowhere.
me say
issue. I
this
It's
too.
agree.
the,
The other part about it
interesting
is
journey.
good
I agree.
parenting
Journey.
knows
You can
a
feel
good
safe at home.
no,
Well,
but a good
But
you know
parent
when I
also
started
I
knows.
feeling
can't
safe at
feel
home?
safe when your fear is causing me not to live my life.
And
There you go.
Olivia, what
Exactly.
you fail to
Exactly.
realize is also that a good parent knows that they are not all knowing. They are not omniscient. in them
I'm,
being
I'm,
all
I'm
knowing.
not thinking
So
I'm
when you
all
come out
knowing.
here and you
Well,
say,
I'm not even a
I'm the
parent for that
matriarch,
matter.
and whatever I say
I am the
goes, and you
matriarch
got
in
to
my
think how
family.
that's limiting. You have to also accept that you're always learning, and there are things that may be
Absolutely.
beyond your grasp or beyond your reach. As all of us, there are things beyond our grasp,
I mean,
beyond our knowledge, and beyond our reach that we
that's
need to
not what
be
I mean.
open
I'm
to
not
our
saying I'm
children
not an
being
idiot.
open to.
Let's address the
I'm
elephant in the
talking
room.
about, like, this is what I mean. I'm not even talking about out in the world. I'm talking about when you are a child, it is my duty to equip you with the tools that you need to create a strong person, to equip you to be able to handle certain all situations, as many as you can, things that are in your control. It is my duty to build up your self-esteem, okay? To give you I don't want to say thick skin, but for lack of a better word, I'm gonna give you a thick skin. In my
Oh, that's
family,
important
we
too. That's
praise.
important too.
Let me finish.
Important.
We
Why do
praise
you
the
keep?
young people in my family. We try to build up their self-esteem to the point to where if somebody call you a random name, you're not gonna be fazed by it because you think you are the shit. Okay, that is
Yeah.
and I try to. You
Well, I
can't
had that. I did
you
have
can't
that,
eliminate
Olivia.
all forms of
But if you was my
childhood.
auntie, I'll be begging and pleading for you to let me be that pole that Lil Nas X was coming down on. I was like, auntie, let me watch this motherfucking video. This is the
No,
only.
this nigga didn't.
I'm
No,
I'm gonna
this
be like,
I'm
nigga
with
hey,
you,
didn't.
I'm gonna be
Logan.
like,
Logan, I'm
auntie,
with you
I need to watch
1000%. Can
this.
I be this poll? Lil Nas X,
I
I just want to be
look,
poll.
Well,
Did y'all see the
look,
post
hey,
that Lil Nas
auntie,
made?
can I just
there's
watch the
nothing
lap
wrong with
dance part?
here's the thing is there's nothing wrong with him sliding down the pole. Your sexuality, like I said, it's unfortunate that you don't have a gay tip drill video. But my thing is, even in the tip drill videos, they wasn't twerking on goddamn Satan. It's the image.
I had when Lil Nas X was coming down that pole, I had my credit card out.
Well, I mean, and that's fine. Why did he have to be twerking on Satan?
Because that got your attention.
Hey, because guess what?
It
There's
got your
always
attention. It
because
made
when
you talk. You still
that
yelling
got
about
your
it.
He
attention.
couldn't just be
It was
twerking on
done
some
for
guy with
that
muscles.
reason.
He couldn't be
It's for
twerking
that
on like
reason.
one of these stars out here or something. Why he got to be twerking on Satan? He couldn't be
Olivia, I
twerking
promise
on
you,
Idris Elba.
I promise you, Olivia, you and everybody else would still be yelling whether or not it was Satan or whether or not it was just some random dude. It doesn't matter. I
No,
love
that's
the
not
fact that
true.
it
That's
was
not
Does
Satan
true.
anybody
You can
remember?
say
Does
Satan
anybody
as a
remember?
for Olivia,
as
it
a
would have
metaphor.
That is not
it would have
true.
mattered. For Olivia, it would have mattered because I don't
Does
think
any,
Olivia
It
is
would have been a
homophobic.
difference for me. Yes, it would have, because
I
it would
think
have
it
been
would have
the
been a different.
imagery.
I think it's all about the imagery for
That's
her
exactly
when it
what it
comes to the
is.
devil. I don't
You
think
are
it's because
normalizing evil. Why would you do
right.
that?
I don't think it's a sexuality aspect that
No,
she's
it's not.
that she
I've been
gets.
saying that
Yeah,
for 30 minutes since I've been on. It's not about the sexuality. It's not
yeah.
about it.
It's about
It's about
Olivia,
that
you
the
freaking
imagery of the
satanic
demon.
imagery for me.
Olivia, you're a
But
Christian.
Olivia,
Okay, so let me
you
ask
just
this.
No, I'm
said
not a
it's
Let
about
Christian.
normalizing
me
evil.
ask
For
this.
most of America,
You are
homosexuality
Hey,
is
seducing these
Olivia, some
young
normalizing
of us
evil.
people
like
That's
evil.
the
into
Some
whole
of us
point.
like
normalizing
Satan.
that type of
It's okay.
dysfunction. That is what that video is doing. It is seducing these young
Exactly. And you
people
forget,
into that type,
Olivia,
into
that him
that
talking about
Satanism.
sex is
Okay. Then you go take it further with apparel. And did you know he's supposed to be making some kind of Satan doll? So like,
And we
where's
like
your branding?
Satan.
Why are you branding all of this esoteric, ridiculous ass shit to young people?
Some of us like Satan. Some of us like Satan, Olivia. Some of
Okay.
us like
Then you
Satan.
go suck his dick in hell and leave everybody else kids
Yes.
the fuck alone. Why did you do
Yes.
that?
Gee.
Huh? That's on you.
Yeah.
Keep it to your motherfucking self.
yes,
You got a
but
right to do
don't be
whatever
Look,
the
keeping
fuck
it
you
to
want to do.
myself. Nobody
The
has to
fuck?
keep anything to themselves. We have
You
freedom to
see, now
speak
you see
and
what's
say
going
whatever
on
we
now,
want
right?
to do.
We do not have to conform to what you're comfortable with.
That's why I asked if you were.
He needs
Olivia,
to be held accountable for that fucking dysfunctional ass imagery.
held
Okay?
okay, but now listen. Now this is my question. Held accountable by who?
Exactly.
No,
By a moral compass that he doesn't have.
Me and Olivia. Held accountable by who, Olivia? Because where we at?
Let me tell you who he should be held accountable to.
Who?
Held accountable by his own damn people.
What people?
That's who should
We
hold
are
him
his
accountable.
people. We don't give a
Who's
shit
his
about
We
people?
are, and we love it.
Because if
You're, that's the case. You're not his people.
listen,
We're his people.
Olivia,
I'm sure gonna watch it tonight.
wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm sure gonna watch it for the
Hey, look,
people.
let me tell you
I'm
something.
sorry,
Jack
I'm
your
sorry,
dick
I'm
out
sorry,
and
I'm
let me
sorry.
pronounce it at the time. That's on you.
Olivia, right here, me and you. Now, if he actually, let's just do hypothetically, because I told you I don't believe that he's into Satanism.
I
You
do
do.
not.
Okay, you do. Okay.
No,
So
I don't. I don't think you're into Satanism.
You don't.
I think
Okay.
he's falling for the okie doke.
Come on, wait a minute, y'all. Hush, hush. If he is into Satanism, then ain't nobody here claiming him, right? We don't want him. Ain't that how that would go?
Yeah.
So who the fuck is supposed to check him? Not none of us. And in America, you can worship how you
Whoever you
want.
want. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But
And
let
to
me
be
ask
honest,
you
if he
this.
was really into, but the thing is, if he was really into
James said it
Satanism,
was
I
me and
wouldn't
him.
fuck with him either.
Okay, but James said this is me and him. So let me ask you a question, James. Okay.
Come on, baby.
Oh, James.
Now, going, say Lil Nas is riding down the street, right? He in his car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets stopped by the police. Do you think that they are going to stop and ask him, is he gay? Does he worship Satan? Do you think they are going to ask him any of, let me finish. Do you think they are worried about any of that? Or do you think they are simply worried about this black man driving his car and we're stopping him and we're possibly going to kill him, not because he's gay, not because he worships Satan, simply because he is a black man and a black male in America? Do you think they're going to be worried about that?
Absolutely.
But that has nothing to do with the video.
I know it don't have
James, hold up,
nothing to do with the
James.
video.
No, he'll be treated just like every other black man. But now the whole point is, if he had made this video and slid down a pole and fell into a bed of roses and wasn't nobody there, wouldn't that scenario be the same?
Exactly.
No, it wouldn't be the same because he ain't twerking on motherfucking Satan. Not for me, it wouldn't be the same.
Because he's black. Because now, because of the video, you think they're going to target him more?
Oh no, not no more, no less. I've been watching the trial all day about George Floyd.
That's what I was saying. Like, what's the point that you're making?
To the bullshit is what I'm saying.
Olivia loves Satan.
I agree. Can we
you
just
can
all
Satan, you can love Satan, you can eat him alive, bitch. I don't give a fuck. That's on you.
can we just agree to disagree?
Why are you speaking right now then?
What do you mean why I'm speaking? I'm talking to you personally. You are an adult.
Exactly. I don't
You are not the one that put out the fucking video. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you as an adult. Why are you speaking?
The exact same thing. You gotta understand. You gotta understand. I don't give a fuck about your kids or anyone else's kids.
I don't give a fuck about you. Who the fuck are you?
Then
I
we're
don't give a fuck about
then we're
you.
great. Then we're
You misunderstand my fucking purpose. Just like you
don't give a fuck about your purpose.
Nigga, I'm up here defending
I
mine.
don't give a
Who
fuck
the fuck are
about
you?
your purpose.
No,
I don't give a fuck about
I don't even know what the fuck you just said. You fucking
I don't
idiot.
give a fuck about your
You
purpose.
the same melancholy bitch that's
I
been up
don't
here for
give a
hours.
fuck
Don't
about
nobody
your
want to listen to your
purpose.
depressed. I want to be
I
lonely
don't give a
ass. I'm
fuck
introverted
about your
ass.
purpose.
I want to be alone. I'm happy by myself. I'm a mountain all by myself.
Okay,
Nobody got to the important ass.
And
Who the fuck are you?
can we have some respect on
Y'all
here?
realize that most of the
Hey, can we show
You don't even want to subscribe shit, bitch. You just
can
want
we
to be
show a little
alone.
respect on here now?
Hold on, you guys.
No, you do understand. They both hollering still. They hollering still. You understand the two of them are enjoying themselves right now. Because they're both doing.
Did he really think he can buck at me? He thought he can buck at me. He don't know who the fuck I am. Nigga, the fuck?
Hey, look, I'm about to turn that. I'm about to turn that into a new. I'm about to turn that into a Lil Nas X song.
The bearer of
Come on, Logan.
in this whole video. Olivia, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but intelligence has bucked at you this entire life.
I
she came back on
disagree.
here.
kicked her
And
I
ass in the fucking
disagree,
face.
Teddy. I
The
disagree.
two of them were
I'm
doing
just pretty
Can
much
we
all
just
one.
agree?
This is
Can we
fucked.
agree to disagree? She have a right to
Again,
feel the way she
and
feel
they're
about the
fine.
imagery,
Yes, I
about the
do.
imagery.
Yes, I do.
Can I say
Olivia
something?
and Gil are doing exactly
And
what
if he come at
Nas
me, I'm
said
gonna come at him
to
back.
them.
you
The
can come
fuck?
at me back. Ask me if I
They're
care.
all trolling each
No,
other.
you don't. You ain't supposed to, cause nigga,
I
ask me
think
the
that's
fuck
what
do I
I'm
supposed to
They're
care?
trolling.
Oh
They're
my
trolling.
gosh.
They're
We
trolling.
can
You ain't
go.
supposed to care, cause
Listen,
I don't care.
each other.
Olivia,
Don't let us
darling,
not see
we
it.
can go
I
back
don't
and
give a fuck
forth
about
And we don't
all
even have to go back and forth
night.
if you shut the fuck up.
I
We don't
don't
have to do
shut
that.
nothing the fuck up, girl, because I don't know you, nor do I care about your purpose. So
Oh,
I
is
don't
this
give a fuck
somebody
about
else
what
I'm
you're talking
arguing with
about.
now?
Hey, how did we get there though? How did we get with all this
Because
cut
you
stuff
like
and
the
hostility?
Because
bug. They
number
like
one,
the
she's
bug,
been
and
trying.
you like the
She's been
rah-rah. You
trying
think
to
it's moving
stop
somebody.
me.
It's not
So he's
moving me,
going up
nigga. I
there
like to
trolling
argue.
them.
I
We
don't give
can
a
do
fuck
this
what
all
you
night. I
Come on,
don't
say.
give a
man. Like,
fuck.
Bitch,
If
we
it
can
don't
argue all
bother me, I
fucking
don't give a
oh,
night.
fuck.
come on,
Look,
come
We
on,
can
Okay?
y'all.
argue all night,
I
bitch.
don't
I
give a
don't
fuck.
give
We can
a
argue
fuck.
all motherfucking
We
Hey,
night,
can
nigga.
y'all,
argue
come
I
on
all
can
now.
fucking
argue my
night.
whole
Logan,
We
goddamn
can
life.
argue
I'm
all
real
night,
good at
bitch.
this
I can
shit.
try to.
I'm good at this
I
shit.
enjoy
Talk to
I'm
you
good
interjecting
at this
all
shit.
in
motherfucking
I'm
person.
night,
good at
bitch.
this
I
shit.
don't
I'm
care.
good at this
I
shit,
don't
nigga.
care.
I'm good at
I
this
don't
shit.
care.
Let
Okay?
them
I
tire
don't
I'm
care
themselves
good
about
at
out.
your
this shit.
Just like the
purpose.
I can
children.
argue
I
Just
with
let
you
don't
them get
all
it
care
all
night.
about
out.
your
You don't
purpose.
bother me.
I don't care about your
I
purpose.
don't care
I don't
Good.
care
either.
about your
Why you
purpose.
think I can
Olivia.
do
I
it?
don't
Because
care
I don't
about
give
your
a fuck.
purpose.
That's why.
I just feel like singing Amazing Grace.
Can I
Okay.
say something?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
losing. I'm
it just
losing points on my
confirmed that
IQ score by staying up on here. Dear God.
And child, I love them both. I love them both. And I just love them to sleep, honey. They trolling each other. And that's all that is. Olivia having the time of her life. My Olivia loves this shit. As that one broad over there I don't like be saying, and I love his shit.
And I
Olivia
love this
loves this
shit.
I
shit.
just
And I
felt like
love this shit.
a song of
She loves it.
Amazing Grace should have just broke
And
out.
she was having a great time with it. Gil was having a great time with it. Didn't nobody lose no fingernails. Mother's okay with it. Lil Nas X done trolled everybody and got
he
all the
did. And I wanted to say something on that because this
baby.
motherfucker just put out an all-white shoe that says "My Pleasure." It has Chick-fil-A on it and John 3:16. So it just proved
Trolling.
that
And you
this.
know, Chick-fil-A trolling
Oh,
person
and he
again.
said,
You do
he
realize
said
Chick-fil-A don't like us.
exactly.
Right.
This motherfucker said we
And I don't
decided
give
to
a
drop these to
and
even
I
the
don't like
score.
Chick-fil-A. I think they overrated as a motherfucker.
He just said we decided to drop these to even the score. Damn, y'all happy now?
And that happened
Who did
earlier
that
this
shoe?
Hey, no.
Wait, who did the
Watch
shoe?
this. He dropped that shoe right after the 666 shoe went sold out in less than a minute. And he
Absolutely.
dropped that
Trolling.
10
Who
minutes
dropped,
later.
who dropped the shoe?
Lil Nas.
It's
Lil
an
Nas.
all-white
Just
shoe,
dropped
and
the
it says
all-white
Chick-fil-A
shoe now.
on it
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
to even out the
But
score.
Chick-fil-A always
but the
trolling
thing
black
is, but
people with their
can
racist ass.
Chick-fil-A can Chick-fil-A sue for imagery?
It's
Absolutely.
a custom-made shoe.
It's a
So
custom-made
he's
shoe.
Chick-fil-A
taking
is
Nike
racist as
shoes and
Well,
he's
why
fuck.
were they
custom
there?
making
That's
them,
where
and
Do
you
you
then
have
know
he's
that
selling them.
Chick-fil-A is run by them a goddamn evangelist, whatever you call his name? That
Evangelicals,
shit is
yeah.
racist as fuck. I
It
would
is
never eat
Oh
that.
racist.
yeah,
That's
ain't no
why he was
there's no group
It's
more
racist,
racist.
but it's closed
Right.
on Sunday. Chick-fil-A don't open on Sunday. It's a holy
Right,
place. That's why he put it on the
the
shoe.
owner is an evangelist.
Exactly.
But he's
Mhm.
trolling, nigga. That's the whole
Racist as
point. He's
hell.
been trolling all the
trolling.
time.
He's
And y'all fell
poking
for
at
it.
everybody. That's what I'm telling you.
But
If you
what
go
I
back to,
said when I
he's
first came
poking
on
at
here,
every single,
but
every
mother,
group.
I said when I first came on here, if y'all know Lil Nas X before he got famous, he was a troll. He will tell you he was a troll. He has dozens of troll accounts that he would go on, and that's all he did was troll people for years. And so by him becoming famous, he's the most famous troll there is out there. He's a master
People were
at
saying
trolling,
that
and
Takashi
people
6ix9ine
fell
wish he
for
was
the
the Satan.
trap.
And they're saying that it's fake news. But
That's what I heard too.
listen. Listen. Let me make y'all another problem.
Hey, but what about
If it's
Takashi?
true, wait, man, hold on,
All right,
hold on.
all right.
Listen.
Evangelical. That's what
Thank you all for coming to Kitchen Table Talk with Spillitboy TV. I'll make another promise to you. I'm gonna go to the street. I'm gonna check everything out. If in fact Lil Nas X is trolling again and he done something with Chick-fil-A, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna meet back up here again and we're gonna carry on and we'll go back into it. That's a promise. That's a promise. So it is what it is. Just trolling, child, just trolling. But I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Olivia, if he's making a shoe for Chick-fil-A, you gonna make a video to Margaret
about the evangelical?
Damn right.
Oh yeah, I don't mind at all.
And
they don't bother me
tomorrow anyway. You got a video already because you got to go over there and clean me up, honey.
I already cleaned you up about a couple of hours ago.
Steve Austin, to answer your question, he already said his production company paid $1 million for that video, and I'm sure they're getting a lot of money. Right now, last time I checked, he was at like 36 or 37 million views for that video on YouTube alone.
I already did it.
Right. If he got $1 for each view, that's a rich motherfucker.
I cleaned you up in Food Junkie too. You Food Junkie. You gotta go watch the video.
Olivia, what's your channel? Olivia, what's your channel?
Doing it.
Olivia,
I'm gonna put Kurt Franklin on the.
You cleaned us up.
I cleaned you up real good.
Now, why you clean me up? Do I gotta go over to the other channel to clean you back up?
Huh?
Do I gotta go over to the other channel to clean you back up?
Good, yeah, because we can make some dollars from that beef, boo. Run it.
Where's Brandy when I need her to take her on home, honey?
What you say, Philly?
Hey, where's Brandy when I need her to take her on home, honey?
Mother, I already told you, Lil Nas X already put those Chick-fil-A shoes out. It's real. It's not fake. It's real. He did put them out. It's already been on social media all day. It came out.
And guess what he also did? He said, I'm going to put Kurt Franklin on Call Me By Your Name remix to even it out.
Shoes sold out. After the 666 shoes, the Satan shoes sold out in under a minute. He came out with those shoes. It was like a couple minutes after that. That's been since early this morning.
Who's ever his marketer is a genius.
Genius.
Is a G. They probably bought
also,
$1 million. They bought 1,000 pairs of shoes.
And whoever does wardrobe and makeup for him, they need all of the coins that they get as well, because his makeup was sickening. His outfits were sickening. Those crotch shots I got in those boxer briefs.
Yes.
You
know what? And on that, listen, we get ready to give our last, and I done been down here with y'all for 7.5 hours.
7 hours.
And I done found out that Olivia done cleaned me up. I have to go clean up Olivia's ass.
Done cleaned you right up, child. Right up. You a Food Junkie, okay? Cleaned y'all both.
Olivia, you know, just let me know if you clean me up. You know, we here for it. We here for all.
Hey, I had a good time. It's been a pleasure.
Olivia, you know we have all of the smoke. You know I love you, Olivia, but if you clean me up, I'm about to come and bring out my book of darkness.
You know what I'm going over
there. Olivia, I got a new auntie now. I'm gonna be over there.
Okay, y'all come over. You're welcome. My channel is Olivia the Oracle.
Olivia, you know I be on your channel already.
Yeah, I'm Logan J, so I'm gonna be on your channel a little bit later.
Okay.
Look at Olivia. Look at that. Getting cleaned up, baby.
If you don't clean me up, Olivia, I'm going over there and I'm gonna act like Dimples.
No.
Girl, I'm gonna throw all decorum to the wind, honey, and act like
even I can't be that bad. Now give me a break.
I'm not gonna even let you act like a whole ass prostitute.
It was a
joke. Lady Dimples. I'm not gonna let you do that and be a lady of the night walking the
Wait, I lost Gil somewhere.
I'm not gonna let you do that, mother.
I'm not. Let you be Lady Dimples. I'm not cut from that kind of cloth. I lost Gil, but anyway, we'll let Gil be the first one out. Gil, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I couldn't have did it without you. Who wants to go next? Who got last words next?
I do.
Livy. Okay.
I just want to tell El Teddy that El Teddy, you know I love you. Don't be trying to open up no goddamn book of darkness on me, because
I love you too.
Okay. We just had a difference of opinion. We all grown over here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just
Agree
emotional.
to
I'm a
agree to
mama, but I
disagree.
love all of y'all. Whether y'all think I'm loving too hard, I think I'm always right. You know, it is what it is. That's just how I move.
Thank you
You
for
know.
coming, Olivia.
Thank
Child,
you.
you better not have cussed me too bad.
You're gonna have to go over there. You have to
You
child.
probably did. You better not have cussed me bad, Olivia.
You know, I was in the heat of the moment, child. I was in the heat of the moment. And then
Olivia, say
plus,
your channel.
Clean you
Say your
up.
channel again, Lil Olivia, before you leave. I'm new to you. Say your channel again.
it's, the name of my channel is Olivia the Oracle Speak.
All right.
Lord have mercy. What am I gonna do with this woman?
And I'm ignorant all the goddamn time, so don't
What am
let
I
me.
gonna do? So you done called
Hey,
me
I love
everything.
it. I love every bit
There's
of
a
it.
method to my madness, baby, though. So for real, it really is.
That's a girl. Guess what? I'm gonna give you some of this, Liv.
What's that? I can't see nothing but me. Spill it. Oh no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Olivia, I
wasn't that
don't
bad
plan to
though.
open up the book of darkness on you. You know we good. I don't have
Wow.
no problem. We have a difference of opinion, and I don't have a problem with having a difference of opinion. I'm not gonna open the book of darkness.
Okay. Yeah, Teddy, tell him don't be doing me like it. I don't need that song.
Don't be doing Olivia like that.
That's
I don't
not
have no problem
right.
with Olivia the Oracle. And you know, Mother, you know, me and Mother knows that my room in Mother's house is over in the corner. Jada's room is next to mine. Really B's room is across from mine. Every room is next to Really B's. But
And guess what they ain't heard, Olivia? I moved out of that house, Teddy. They didn't even notice I was gone.
Oh Lord, that's bad.
I left all
I
them
didn't know
guys.
because I had trade over there all the time. I had trade over there the whole time, so I didn't even know.
James went to the next house getting that itch scratched.
I'm gonna give Olivia a
See, that's
real
what's wrong with y'all. Y'all too grown. Y'all too grown. That's the problem.
You heard me, Olivia?
Huh?
I'm gonna give you an old nasty neck bone mukbang as a reply.
Not a neck bone mukbang.
A neck bone mukbang. That's all right, because you know Jay Wilson called me Hattie Mae anyway, child.
Can you
You
eat
ain't
some
got
lima
you
beans
didn't
with
you
the
didn't
neck
put
bone?
you didn't put no turkey neck in a pot. You didn't put a
I
turkey
need
neck
some
in a
neck
pot.
bones with my lima beans. Now, if I'm eating turkey necks, I want some black eyed peas with my turkey necks. Turkey
Ooh, that
necks and
sounds
black eyed
good
peas.
though,
But
for
neck
real.
bones, I need lima beans.
With some Louisiana hot sauce.
I'm trying to tell you.
Some hot water cornbread.
Yes, God. Yes,
Listen,
God.
Logan, if you meet my size criteria, you could come over to my room in Mother's house.
Logan got a whole
Logan.
Logan married.
You meet my
Logan is a
size
married
criteria,
man.
I'll let you come on over.
There you go.
And I'll
Hey,
show you
shoot,
how
I
to
can
survive
at
that
least
cold. Come over to my channel, Logan.
I can at least taste the food. Ain't nothing wrong with me tasting the food.
No, we can't go nowhere near El Teddy, baby. It's a problem.
Logan, Mother will tell you, I am the most debaucherous child he has.
Absolutely. And
wow.
him and his husband is my friends, and I'm not going to have you ruin my goddamn
Logan, you can come on over here and I can show you all the tricks
it's not gonna happen.
your family has to offer.
That's my
I
weakness
show
is
you
some
all
food.
of the tricks.
We not
I
having
suck
it,
skin
El
off
Teddy.
potatoes if you need me.
Y'all might
I
need to
can
leave
suck
El
skin
Teddy
off
alone.
potatoes.
We not having it, El Teddy. We not having it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that sounds good to me.
Your lips are going to end up with a busted lip. We not having it.
I suck skin off potatoes. I do have a channel. My channel is exactly what you see on screen, L Teddy 27 Official.
Oh wow.
If you search YouTube for L Teddy 27 Official, you'll find me.
All right.
I'm not a part of
I'm
Avatar
gonna do
Nation.
that right
I do
now.
show myself on screen. I'm not a part of Avatar Nation.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Oh, all right.
Be nice.
Hey,
Teddy, did you say you stuck the skin off of potatoes?
Hold up, y'all. Hey.
I do suck the skin off potatoes.
Bye, you guys. I
do.
have to leave.
Hold up.
Naya, thank you so much for hanging out, Naya. I appreciate it,
I love
baby.
you guys. Thank
Enjoyed
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sorry for the hollering.
Who wants to go next? Nubiology, you want to go next, or you hanging?
I'm hanging.
She hanging. Who wants to go next? LB, you up there, girl?
I'm hanging.
Okay. All right, I'm going to say, well, y'all hanging, but somebody got to go next. Shall we leave it?
Oh,
Like,
I'll go.
y'all mess
I'll go.
around. If I get to me, y'all say y'all hanging, and then it'll get to me, and then I'll leave y'all's ass.
Exactly. Hey, I'll go. So this is Rock. I don't have no channel or anything. I just be hanging out in the comments, and I've been watching James for the past few years. And but I think yesterday that was my first time ever getting on one of his lives. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed tonight, and I guess I will see y'all soon. And thank you for having me, James. Thank everybody, for engaging the conversation, and I appreciate all of you. And good night.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rock. I appreciate you. I had a great time with you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, I'll go next, y'all.
Now, there we go. Hey, what's up?
Oh, let me check this out so he can hear you. All right. Hey, love, it's been a pleasure.
My bad, I got this thing on.
Hey, this is my dude. He just cooked some lamb for me, so Teddy's gonna have to wait till I'm hungry again. So
I told y'all,
just
both
wanted
of
to
y'all
say
stay
Don't be
away
getting
from
me
me.
beat up by that
Great
man. That man
conversation.
look like he'll beat me up. I'm a small
I
guy.
will beat
Listen,
every
I'm not gonna let him
I'm
beat me
fucking
up.
with y'all, my bad. Yo, what?
Yeah. But
Y'all look
y'all,
like y'all
it's been a
happy.
pleasure, y'all. It's been
They
an
are,
honor.
child. Thank y'all so
Beautiful
much
couple.
thank you for hanging out with me. You know I love y'all.
All right.
Beautiful couple.
Child, love them. That's one of my favorite couples down here, honey.
They're a nice couple. They look like they're a nice
They
couple.
are. They are. They're the best. They are.
All right.
All right. Who else? El
I'm
Teddy,
a-
bye. You already talked. Bye, El Teddy. LB, what you got to say for yourself? Thank you so much for hanging out with me, love. I appreciate it.
Goodbye, baby.
thank you. I don't have to say anything. I said whatever I needed to say earlier. I was just kind of hanging out, listening, being nosy.
Sorry if I hollered at you, LB. If I hollered at you, baby.
Oh no, it wasn't me. I didn't get hollered at.
I'm just trying to cover all my bases.
But
I
but
told y'all,
but
didn't I
you know,
tell you she be trolling, honey? She come over and yell. That's where she happy. That's her happy place.
but I knew where she was going.
That's her happy place.
Yeah,
I
that's
knew what she was trying to say. What she was trying to get at was when you have a platform. She was trying to say that you have a responsibility
yes.
to. It's one thing, she wasn't going against being gay. That's not what she was saying. It was a
No,
responsibility of
that's why I said
having a
she
moral compass.
yeah, when she
You know?
pulled back, I said she'll figure that out and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
She'll be back.
So
Didn't
I
you say
understood
y'all
where
two
she
will
was
be
going.
back? Came right on back, brought her ass right on back over. I told you.
I did because I felt guilty. I did.
Child, I know her. I know her like the back of this black ass hand. I know her.
Because you know I love my men's. I love my men's. I love my
see her
men's.
cussing me, and I'm a cuss her. I ain't gonna cuss her back. I'm gonna ignore her.
I love my boys. So y'all know y'all all my boys, just like I love them in my house. Okay, and just am who I am.
But Nubiology, can I tell you, girl, you are a whole mood. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. I love it. She's serving face. Oh my God.
Sure.
Really?
Listen, all I did, I came up here to flirt with Food Junkie. And I ain't even got to flirt with him yet. That was my whole purpose. I done switched from wine to tequila. I done went and snatched my wig off. Y'all didn't even notice that, did y'all? That
I
wig was
noticed
getting
that he changed hair while I'm at it. I said, yes, quick change, kind of quick change.
The kids that came and grabbed the car keys. They do that every time they see you, though, James. Oh, she talking to Uncle James. They know they got free there.
Okay. You got some of them in your house too, huh?
Kids? How many kids you got, Nubiology?
11.
Oh, do you? That's a blessing.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a
yes,
blessing.
it is. And most of
blessing.
them are grown. They're not all still in the house, but I have 11.
That is awesome. That's a blessing.
Yep. She's awesome. Awesome sauce. Hey, Food Junkie. I can't believe you hung out this long with me, child. Oh, FJ.
He's watching TV and acting a fool over there, so it's all good.
Okay.
But no,
Thank you
I
so
want
much.
to
I
say,
appreciate it.
No problem. I want to say that, although we're like a whole dysfunctional family and a whole situation over here, so like I said, it's never anything personal with anyone. So I don't want anyone to think that whatever I said is calling out the troll that was on here trying to troll and seek attention and me, leave a little situation was not earlier. It's never anything personal. I understand that she has a good heart. She is really passionate about what she believes in, and she is very steadfast in what she believes in. So there's never anything that. But like I said, I don't ever do anything with malicious intent or say anything with malicious intent unless I want to, and you would know when I want to. So it was just a situation that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
it was alive. That's what happened. It was alive.
Yeah,
This is the type of stuff. Look, we only had two kerfuffles and a whole lot. Now, look, Olivia, let me go on and clean you up. While you ought to be ashamed of your goddamn self. I've been online for 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours. I had two kerfuffles in the whole 7.5 hours, and guess who was involved in both?
Me?
Your ass!
Guess who started both of them?
Before they start telling a different story, Olivia, you started it both times.
I know. I did. I'm very passionate. You know how I am. Anger management clearly did not work for me. Okay?
Baby, listen. Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk with Spillitboy TV. I told you all when I started, this is what we do at Kitchen Table Talk. That's why I started this show, is because it's all the things that you only say at your kitchen table.
That's right.
We discuss the hard subjects, and we have done that. We have discussed pretty much all of the hard subjects, and everybody still got all their hair. Well, Nubiology got different hair, but everybody got all their hair. There were no nails broken, ain't no beef walking away.
No.
I say it was successful.
But my thing is, Jay, see, here's my thing. The reason why I am the way that I am, because if you were to be in my presence, we can have a whole conversation like the guy mentioned earlier. Do you play spades, right? The whole time we're around my kitchen table or their kitchen table, whoever's kitchen table playing spades, we talking ish. I don't believe I have to come on and come online and put on airs or be somebody that I'm not, especially when I'm talking to my people. I can just be me. And the way that I am with all of you guys, it's kind of worse in my real life. It's kind of toned down here. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's just the way that I am,
Right. He was on his best behavior too, girl. He live in Atlanta now, but he's from New Orleans, honey.
Oh, well, hell.
Hell. He's on his best behavior.
They putting out the knives and shit in the NOLA.
Yeah, he's not putting on. That is Logan all day, every day. But he was the toned down, decent version. I'm
used to that type of energy. It don't bother me. You know what I mean?
Definitely one of my faves, honey. Been with me forever. Yeah, I said that's one of my favorite couples. And then this one over here. And that's another one of my favorite couples, honey.
Oh, you know what I want to say to Food Junkie? This is another reason why I came up here. I'm glad I stayed up here for a minute. Food Junkie, when I said that you need to turn the amp in your voice, I didn't want you guys to assume, because a lot of people on here, they pay you attacked me because I'm a woman and all of this and all that. Now, Spillitboy, no, I'm not like it. When I was telling you to turn that amp down in your voice, that is me asking you to turn the amp down in your voice, so I won't have to turn the amp up in my voice, and then we just end up going at it anyway. But that's what that was for. I wasn't trying to, insinuate that you was attacking me because I'm a dainty woman. Yeah, I know it ain't that type of thing.
Well, listen, do you remember when I was on your live that one time and you told me about how you be yelling and screaming at your husband and he always do is laugh at you?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what you do.
I told you, I know you enough, and we have grown to have a relationship enough for me to know where you are. But at the same time, also I recycle energy. So when you're loud, and normally I'm not this loud, you know that. Normally I'm very, even killed was not when I'm just talking.
Right.
So that's what kind of probably also threw you off, because I did get loud because I matched their energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. So it's never personal. and everyone knows me that I match his energy. I'm never
Right.
upset, never mad, but I will match your energy was not to let you know I'm not that person that you want to keep on going up because I'll just keep on going up, however you are. But it's never
Right.
personal. It's never
Right.
personal. But
Absolutely. I
I
respect
still love
that.
you.
I
And I'll be coming
respect
down
that
to your
because it
comment
let me
section.
know I can't push you around. It's very easy for me to push people around,
Right.
honestly. And I'm really kind of shocked when people match my energy. It gives me
Oh
a different
no,
level
girl,
of respect for you.
food junkie is a
Well, so am I. So
Mhm. Girl, please. He gets
Uh,
the worse it get, the more he gets to enjoying himself, honey. He like all that.
yeah, we can't
Ain't
just
that right,
do
AJ?
secretly.
He do. He be laughing on the inside, like and steady screaming. Mess.
that
I'm
James,
just
that's how I feel.
mess.
It really ain't never that deep. You know what I mean? It really is not.
Never. Never. But at the same
Mhm.
time, you ain't gonna park me.
In this one, you hung out. You hung the whole time, didn't you? Didn't you, friend? Hung the whole time. I know you're one of my favorites, honey.
With no shirt on.
Baby, listen, it's the lips for me, child.
I'm married. Look at all that.
Baby, well, take a look before I take it down. Look at it. Baby, it is the lips for me, honey. Love them to death. All you guys hanging out in the chat, there's many of you, and then this one here. Look at this one.
Oh yeah. That was that was a surprise. A welcome cute surprise.
Well, I already knew.
I'm like,
Child,
oh.
that's what 60 looked like. Quit playing.
Oh, Lacey is 60?
Lacey is 60.
Wow. You go, boy.
Shitting on the girls.
Good James.
Can you imagine? Now look at that at 60, and we got some 39 walking around here looking like the bottom of a pair of old melted jelly shoes. The fuck?
That's true. That's true.
all one pair of espadrilles.
Listen, child, ought to be shame, honey. Anyway, but listen, thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate all y'all in the chat, Aisha, and all of y'all. And there's folks that came and that went. Y'all hung the long fight, child. We almost the birthday party was 8 hours. We 15 minutes shy of the birthday party. I'm gonna go ahead and leave now because it's not my motherfucking birthday.
Thank you for having me, Spillit. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all next time at the kitchen table.
Be nice.